and it says we are live there.
Okay,
I am showing live on my end. How about your end, Father?
think it.
Yep.
I just got a notification for being live. Okay, hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to our fucking Memorial Day celebration. We have a lot of fucking badass panelists today. Every one of us are either active or ex-military. We're gonna give you guys a little different, a little change of things. We're all gonna be talking about our military history, our experiences. We're really going to be pushing and promoting a new show out here that one of the panelists is going to be hosting. And I'll have a link in the description for all that. We'll get to that in a second. But I do want to say, first off, with this panel, even though we're all military and ex-military, we all do have that debunking in us. So I'm sure that it will eventually go to flat earth, to atheism, to all this, to whatever, but you're going to get the military point of view, and you're going to get our military attitude about it, and we're going to cut jokes, and you may not get everything, but join the military and you will. So as far as everything else goes, we're going to be doing a new kind of format with our live stream. We're going to be doing or I am at least, I'm going to start trying to incorporate OBS. So if anything is fucked up, you be sure to let me know so that way I can fix the problem. But as of right now, I'm going to I'll introduce myself so that for anybody that doesn't know who I am, it's Team Skeptic. I call myself Father Skeptic. I'm ex-Navy. I'm electronics technician in the Navy, so that's why I have a unique understanding of math and quantum mechanics, because I had to understand math and quantum mechanics to be successful as an electronics tech. And I think everybody should be into electronics and mathematics. It's a badass fucking field. But I am going to turn it over to Jared here, and I'm going to leave his link in the description for anybody that wants to start watching these veteran shows in the future. Be sure to go over to Jared's channel, click the like button, click the subscribe button. We're going to be live streaming on both channels today. So Jared, let me turn it over to you and introduce yourself, tell everybody about the stream, and let's get this shit started.
Good afternoon, evening, everyone. I am Jared. For those who may be familiar with the voice and, well, the more recent avatar I've been using, I've been active in the anti-flat Earth community, both on Sean's channel, Red's Rhetoric's channel. Oh God, I forgot all the list of them. Psystrike's movie night. My connection with the military, as you can tell from my avatar, that is all my awards. I did serve. I was a aviation electronics technician, 2nd class, aviation warfare, surface warfare, because I was one of those who was stuck on the big pieces of shit aircraft carriers. But I can say that lovingly, because I actually served on the last conventional carrier, the USS Kitty Hawk, affectionately known as the Shitty Kitty, which, yeah, very, very apt moniker. The purpose of today's is, with it being Memorial Day, a bit of celebration of those that we have lost in the line of duty. Meanwhile, having a gathering for those of us who were in, or if we happen to know anyone who is still currently serving, they're welcome to join as well. And just military gathering, where the conversation goes, we can't tell, because it can go wildly from there. And this coming Friday, I'm beginning what I hope to be a weekly series of a general conversation type thing, related primarily around military topics, history of service, so sharing sea stories, deployment stories, just sharing with like-minded people the experience of being in the military, and also have it open to people who have questions for us of really any nature, be it about the military itself, any of the advanced training and knowledge we have, like myself being aviation. It's what really honed in my understanding of electronics, quantum quantum physics, classical physics, and all that higher brain stuff, which has led me to go back to school again for a degree in physics after getting a degree in electrical engineering and aeronautical engineering. So yeah, I'm just a little bit of a nerd. So with that, also on the panel, we are going to go, let's go from my left to right as I see it. Mr. Evans, go ahead and introduce yourself to those watching and tell us a bit about your history and your interest in being here.
Well, I spent 9 years in the Royal Air Force as a ground radar technician. 9 very enjoyable years. And as this is my first ever live stream, it's a little bit tricky going first. So maybe I can pass on to the next person and come back in a little later once I've got a bit warmed up.
No, that is perfectly fine. So, Mr. Bo Hobo, our wonderful Norwegian. Oh, wait, no.
What the hell?
Hey, gotta get.
He's from Vienna.
Is my name Halsoy?
Hey, had to get
Danish,
the fun
thank you very much. Yeah,
I thought he said he was from Vienna.
No, that's forget it.
That's the Danish.
I'm from Denmark, and I have been in the Danish army in three different brands actually, back from about 96, 97. I was a conscript in the Danish missile air defense, and later I became a member of the Danish National Guard in a mechanized infantry company as a signal sergeant. And I have also been deployed. I was deployed in 2008 to Afghanistan with the ISAF forces, where I unfortunately got shot in the knee while saving my friend's face from those bullets. And I've been struggling ever since, but that's his life. Right now, I'm still in the Danish National Guard, but in the police division, which is just helping in society with different types of things. That's basically it, I think.
All right, and next on the list, Chewbird. Matt, go ahead and give the audience a little taste of your involvement here.
I'm a retired Navy chief quartermaster, served mostly on submarines. I like poetry, long walks on the beach, and poking dead things with a stick.
That is exactly the type of introduction I was expecting. Awesome. Bullinator, you're next.
Oh, okay. I was a medic in the Army. I was part of the 1st of the 18th Infantry. So yeah, they give medics to everybody. So if you ever join and they say, "Oh, medic's a safe job," no, it's not. It's one of the most unsafe jobs there is because you don't actually get a rifle either. So medic it's not a safe profession. They give you a nice target that looks like a cross on your head too. So anyway,
what branch were you in?
Army.
Yay! I'm not completely alone. Thank you.
80% of the Medal of Honor awardees were medics.
Medics,
or corpsmen in the Navy.
Yep.
No thanks.
All right, so after David, we have Lieutenant Commander Squirrel.
Good one. Lieutenant Commander Squirrel. Yeah, no, I actually joined the Navy to become an electronics technician, like a few other people around here. And as it happens, there was some shit that went down that led me to being on suicide watch. And they decided, Liz Triggs decided of their own accord somehow, and managed to convince my superiors that I would be better off with a whole bunch of responsibility rather than damn near none, and it would keep me from killing myself. The damn Shrinks, unfortunately, were correct. They sent me off to candidate school and told me that if I at least tried, that I could go back to my ship. If not, I was going to be court-martialed. I tried. I succeeded. I wound up in combat in Eastern Europe for a long period of time. So, yeah, now that's pretty much it. I joined the military in 1994 and left on the 10th of September 2001 because I refused to take an order that was not kosher.
All right, and next on the list, Mr. Hufford. Let's get that silky voice going.
Well, if you really want the silky voice. Army.
Who wanted the silky voice? We would have invited Reds.
No, he doesn't have the silky voice like I do. As far as excitement goes, I probably had one of the most boring jobs in the world. Satellite surveillance and intelligence. I just told other people where to go blow shit up.
Yeah, and you know what? There were cases in which you guys were seriously wrong.
That wasn't us.
But seriously, Sean, since you're an Army guy, I have so much more respect for you.
Well, it's better than the guy that passes out pastries over there.
Shut up.
All right.
Yes, that will be the running joke of the night.
Oh, of course. There's always going to be one.
Right,
And
just go
as long as it's shot in the knee.
That's great.
Yeah, I actually had jokes about the knees. You know, would you still be an adventurer if you didn't get the arrow to the knee?
It wasn't an arrow. Thank you very much. It was brass.
So it was a modern arrow.
Stuff, you know.
So a modern
arrow, you know.
So an arrow to the knee, or you still be an adventurer?
And by an AK-74, no less.
Oh, jeez.
I condone.
Not 47, but 74. Didn't hear that shit coming.
all right, and the new entry to the panel, Sly Sparkane.
What is disposable?
Go ahead and
Big red blood, whoop.
go ahead and give the crowd a little snippet of your military history.
Sly Sparkane got out of the military after 10 years of service. Signal Corps, 31 Fox. Had a lot of fun doing it. Just couldn't stand the politics no more. Signal Corps is real bad with politics. A lot of cutthroat shit. So yeah, went out and went contractor, and the rest is history.
All right, I have to point out what Gio said in the chat. There is no running joke with Bo Holbo because there is no running.
Oh,
damn.
Well, he's right. I mean, as long as I don't eat a lot of codeine, I won't be running. So he is technically right.
Codeine rules.
I got out of the Navy because of all the waxing.
Oh,
on or off?
Waxing.
Do not talk about that shit. Holy crap.
Getting bikini waxes, huh?
mm-hmm. No. Oh, no. Do people not remember that if you want decent, not necessarily good, just decent looking females to serve with, you go Air Force?
Or you go medic.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, man.
attend,
I've been around Army
Nighthawk
medics enough.
exercise.
Not medic. Corpsman, get it straight.
No, I'm talking about medics. I'm talking about Army, man. You can have your corpsman and your
In other
seaman.
words, needle warriors.
Hey, they keep them going, though.
Yeah.
You know, one thing conspicuously absent from this board is any jarheads. So
I think we actually. I thought we had one.
They don't know how to turn on a computer.
Now, to be fair, I actually did try to get a high school friend of mine to join in as he went Marines, but he was feeling kind of salty because I reminded him that I made rank faster than he did, and
Well, I don't think
and
he's
still
figured out
had
that-
seniority.
I just don't think he's figured out that yelling at the mouse doesn't make it click.
Did anybody invite Steve McCrae?
He does have the link. He is taking care of something, so as long as there's room on the panel, he will be joining us later.
Whose channel is this on?
We are doing a dual live stream. It's primarily being streamed on my channel, but it is also being concurrently live streamed on Team Skeptic.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So we're like simulcast.
Yes, we are.
Super simulcast, yay! Anyway,
Yeah, I'm not drunk enough for this panel, so probably here shortly I'll be letting you guys take over while I run and grab me a few bottles of whiskey.
only you can save me one.
Oh no, come on, you gotta bring your own. You know how it works around here.
But
There won't be enough if we split 2 bottles between me and
Bullwinkle in the
you.
chat brings up a good point. E4 in the Marines has the power of an E5 in the Army. There's a reason for that because they have a short life expectancy. They got to feel like they make some kind of accomplishment in their life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And yeah, Jared, you think you made rank? You think you made grade quickly? Remember what happened to me?
Yeah, you do have a point there. But at the same time, within my specialty, a lot of people were like, making E5 at 5 years is like, oh, wow, you're doing great. It's like, I did it in 3.
Yeah,
It's not that hard, people.
It's really not.
I was E4 twice.
Oh, you were one of those children. Why does that not surprise me?
at all.
E3 twice too, as a matter of fact.
Hey,
Am I the
Sly.
only one?
Hey,
Am I
Sly.
the only one thinking about E4 just being a series of resistor types? Or is that just me?
Hey, Sly.
Uh,
How about
No,
you go
he-
find me the key? How about you go find me the keys to the drop zone, man?
nah, sorry.
The
I left
Danish
it with
equivalent,
my blinker fluid.
the Danish equivalent in the U.S.
Yeah, that's right.
military is cheese, raspberry, strawberry.
So we got everybody introduced now?
Yes, we do.
All right. Q, I got a question for you since you were the one that said you were a quartermaster, right?
Yeah,
Did you do any actual navigation?
yeah, that was my entire job. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, not all quartermasters. Even my brother only did like a little bit of navigation. He wasn't actually the main guy doing it.
Well, I did 20 years, so yeah.
Okay. Jaron brought up a long time ago when they were actually doing the below
God.
60 south circumnavigation within in under 101 days to try to beat the record. He tried to conflate the way navigation is done based on speed versus water speed versus actual speed, from point of reference.
Speed over the ground.
And he was trying to say that, oh God, how did he put it? Because he was trying to make it seem like they were fudging it because they were going by the water speed only. They weren't accounting for currents and all this. And yeah, he tried to build a straw man out of that. And I wanted to make a video about it, but I couldn't get him a hold of my brother, who was a quartermaster in the Navy as well. But he was never available for an interview for that one to debunk that. So how is navigation long distance handled in the open ocean?
How's it handled?
Yeah.
Great,
How do they
mostly
count?
great circle.
Well, I'm talking about for calculating the speeds.
Well, you got something called an EM log, an electromagnetic log that measures your speed through the water, and then you got from fix to fix is how you figure your speed over ground. GPS would tell you that if you're on the surface all the time.
And your fixed navigation is going to go on how much surface area you're actually covering of the.
Yeah, just from one fix to the next fix.
Correct. Yeah. See, Jaron was skipping that entirely in his video.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
That's because we already know Jared knows absolutely nothing about anything. So kind of a thing.
And that kind of wraps that up, yeah.
Yeah. So, Darren, again, you know Jack.
No, if you can send me a link to that video, I'll take a look at it.
Why does everybody insist on spelling my name with a fucking U?
Sean.
Sean. That's my boy, Sean.
Oh my god.
Darren, you don't know Jack. Because
Hey, Scene.
Yeah, shut up, Scene.
I think it was a video by Thrive and Survive. It was talking about submarines don't have to adjust for their depth because they balance the boat.
Why did you have to remind me of the alcohol poisoning I suffered this past Friday night?
Yeah.
So anyway, when are you going to start doing this show, Jared?
I mentioned that Friday 8 p.m. Eastern, which would be midnight UTC, and
5 p.m. here.
Yeah, 5 p.m. Pacific is going to be a weekly military shoot the shit general question type of thing where any topic that someone on the panel has experience with is going to be more than willing to answer, especially from those who actually want to hear the answer, Mr. Jin Chen.
That's 2 in the morning here, man.
Yeah, just to make everything easier.
So why the hell you wake up so late for, Sly?
No, I'm just saying, 5 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific, man. That's 2 in the morning here. I'm not gonna be able to play.
Come on, man. 2 in the morning, you should be up, getting ready with that trash can. All good.
Man, man, I gave that up a long time ago.
Well,
you'll figure it out somehow.
Yeah, right.
Well, to be fair,
or figure.
Well, since it is a Friday night that we are doing this, and my idea is, for my own personal schedule to go from that, have a short break, and then go into movie night. If you really want to be a part of it, Sly, and with scheduling on other streams freeing up, thank you, Gio. We can start a few hours earlier. We can, I can kick it off at 5 or 6 p.m. Eastern, if you would like. So 11 o'clock midnight your time, Sly.
Well, I'll see what I can do, man. It's just that's just something that's been plaguing me on this entire FE thing, anyways, because of the fact that I'm overseas, and being over here, I'm 6 hours ahead of even East Coast, So when Sean gets on there and he's just like, "Hey, I'm gonna have this great thing. I'm gonna bring out all this cool stuff at 8 o'clock at night," I'm like, "Fuck you!"
It's almost like there's this big ball rotating you away from us.
No, man, time zones are conspiracy. You know that.
Yeah, the only time zone that matters is mine.
There's a simple fix to this. Why can't we just use Zulu time? It's so much easier.
That'll work.
We all know what that is. So
because
we do.
Zulu 8 years ago.
We know what that is.
I actually use it every day.
But not necessarily everyone watching does.
Yeah, the last time I used Zulu is the last time I actually had to run somewhere.
Was she Zulu?
Well, I didn't have the chance to run. I was dragged, so.
There you
No
go.
one wants to go to work at 5 p.m. That's why.
Damn modern arrows to the knee.
Sean, where do you live? You know where,
I'm in Indiana right now.
You know where Danville, Illinois is?
Not precisely, no.
Champaign?
I know where Champaign is.
Yeah, I used to live about an hour east of there.
Oh, that's. Well, damn, you were playing in Indiana.
Yeah, I just almost 10 miles from the border. I just moved out to California a couple of months ago.
Oh, well, that sucks. So now we can go to the Warren Dunes together.
Yeah, right.
I have a question. Why would
Okay.
anybody move to California?
Say what?
Why would anybody intentionally move to California?
Have you seen the women there?
Women and weather is amazing.
While
Garrett
Before
while
or
that
after getting shaved?
Eye candy. That is why people go to California. Eye
While-
candy.
while that is a very attractive draw, then they start opening their mouths.
Right.
Well, yeah. Then the stupid flows forth.
It's all about the buttermouth. Everything's nice. Everything's nice buttermouth.
And it's the same reason.
a certain Miss Duran comes to mind.
You know what? I have my doubts about the validity of that image and even the age of that image she uses.
Yeah,
Well,
Chew,
yeah,
just
that's true, but-
remember, Jaranism lives in California. Good luck.
Oh god, yeah, that's enough
I'm
reason to
so
stay
glad I
away.
live thousands
And
of
that's
miles
why I
away.
live in Florida.
Where's that earthquake?
It didn't hit,
Yeah,
it didn't hit
I
close enough.
I live
Oh,
well.
on the women's side though, y'all need to come to Germany one summer. Oh my God.
Hopefully, Northern California succeeds from California.
Okay.
Okay, to address GeoStreber in the chat, who was asking you, Sly, isn't Germany way more left-leaning than California? Yes, except you guys are smarter over there generally on average.
Yeah, and plus California seems to have this little itch in them that they
Geo
can
must
be
be
left.
watching your stream.
Yes, he is.
They can only be left if you're left like they are. That's California left. And Germany's a totally different thing than the States, man. I mean, there's you can't even compare even a location in the States to Germany.
Actually, Slide, that's not true.
Okay.
Because West Germany, what used to be West Germany when I was there last, or at least when I spent any time there last, is approximately the size of Oregon.
Yeah.
That's a comparison.
Oh, you're talking about square miles, man.
I thought Oregon, that was some kind of
According
science.
to which map? Globe or flat Earth?
Yeah, right.
Just to take a break to point out, everybody, I've updated the description. So everybody go to the description. There is a second watch page on Jared's page. He will be the one that hosts these the military stuff in the future. So be sure to go over there, like the video, subscribe to the channel.
No plug there. I'm sitting here. I got the hangout window in the middle, and then I got both chats on either side. Looks like Team Skeptic stuff is still all about globe and versus flat Earth. At least Jared's is a little bit funnier.
What is mine? What's mine say?
Oh, yours seems to be arguments back and forth about the globe versus flat Earth.
Oh,
I've seen at least 3 times go by. Globe is dead and all that other shit.
No, what's really funny is I just added this little overlay at the bottom where it says who my latest subscriber is, and the person that's over there that's like, "Y'all are idiots. The globe's dead." Blah blah blah. It just happens to be my latest subscriber. Thank you for subscribing, Jensen. Thank you so much.
Thank you for supporting the globe.
Yep, that's the way it works, man.
Okay, Jared, I just have to ask you here. How come your video feed is so much crappier than Team Skeptics?
I can
Just
answer
asking.
that because it's a live stream that's being captured from a live stream.
Yeah, but come on. Team Skeptics background? I mean, come on, Jared, you could do better.
One's the hangout directly, and one's actually a rebroadcast. So
yeah,
mine's
pretty good for your massage.
I actually I spent some time last night trying to get this together for today. Look, hold on, I got a new subscriber. Did y'all hear that? Let's see who it is. It's gonna pop up on my screen. Oh wait, it might not because I might have it blocked, but we'll see who it is.
Come on, thrive and survive. Come on, thrive and survive.
Yeah, I got it.
Dream.
Karenism. Let's see, I got another subscriber. Let's see. Maybe it's one of you assholes unsubscribing and then resubscribing just so you can see your name at the bottom. I'm booting you if you do that. Oh God, tornado pelt, you dick.
Oh, did Tornado Pelt overwrite me? The bastard. No, I wasn't actually subscribed to the channel to Team Skeptic until now. So my apologies.
Iger Television, fake Mars robber.
Who is Mars Robber? Mars Robber?
It's
Is that
Actually-
an actor or something?
That's actually Rober, not Robber. But anyway,
Well, he tried to say rover, but apparently he can't spell.
Yeah.
right. But like
Or is it
Rover
Spiegel?
isn't someone who puts a robe on. I don't know.
So he's the anti-flasher.
I got it right.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, so
Hey,
go ahead.
yeah, Sly, I have a question.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious. as to your top 4 emblems on your thumbnail there.
Okay.
The one on the right is that has this scout some kind of scout logo with a castle behind it. Is that
the floor.
Russian or?
No,
Sorry?
that was that's 121st Signal Battalion.
Okay, it's just okay, so it's just Latin then.
Yeah, well, it's Greek, I think.
Oh yeah, Greek. The letters got me confused.
hmm
What are the
Yes, that
what are
would
the
be
other
Greek.
ones though?
What's that?
What are the other ones?
Well, let's
All of them actually. Just
let's see. The top metal ones. The first one on the left. That's the Signal Corps branch insignia. Then after that, the silver one with the orange antennas on it. That's 17th Signal Battalion. And then after that is 63rd Signal Battalion. And then the round one that you were just speaking of. That's that's 121st. Then my unit insignias. The bright orange one, that's 17th Signal or 22nd Signal Brigade, excuse me. The one after that is you know what? I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but that was for 63rd. I was only there for a short period of time. And then the one below that, obviously the big one on it, that's big red one. That's where I was in 121st.
You weren't there long, Sly, but at least they let you choke your chicken.
Yeah, something like that. Oh, and I'd just like to put this out, just in case Antonio ever gets a chance to listen to this. No, the Army doesn't have an infatuation with chickens. What do you call it? We just enjoy making fun of other people's units, and sometimes your unit patch gets a nickname. So, what do you call it? That's just what that is. Then down below that, what do you call it? At that time, I was only sent to one deployment that was actually called a war, so therefore I only got one stripe out of it. And then the slanted stripes, that's obviously service. The backwards flag is for your first deployment. You get a backwards flag. Actually, you get a backwards flag every time you go to get deployed if you don't have a unit patch already for your deployment. And it looks like it's backwards, but it's not. It's actually supposed to look like you're holding it on its staff.
And running into battle.
and
Moving forward.
running towards the enemy. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because isn't that one supposed to be worn on the upper Velcro of the right arm?
Well, I never had the Velcros. What do you call it? We had to have ours sewn on. But
Right, we had BDUs.
yeah, we had BDUs. Thank you. But not this Velcro and zipper bullshit. And what do you call it? Then above that, obviously, that's my lapel for Signal Corps, and the other gold one on the other side is for the other side. Then my marksmanship badges, I got what do you call it? I got expert in rifle, machine gun, and grenade, but I did a little bit less on pistol. And then the big fat one there was because I was happy enough to be able to train with the Germans and get my silver Schutzschnur, which is
that, the Deutsches Bundeswehr or?
yeah, that's from the
branch?
Bundeswehr. No, that's from the Bundeswehr, and that's for training on various rifles and machine guns and all kinds of neat stuff that they had laid out for us, and actually qualifying with it. What do you call it? That is the silver. There's one higher. There's gold. I didn't get the gold, and that's because for some reason I was not having a good time with the machine gun, and
You don't like the MG62?
I don't even remember what it was called, man.
It's a kick-ass machine gun developed after the MG42 that the Nazis used in the war. That was my main weapon when I started.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but you guys got the cool. Germans got the cool rifle though, because of the fact that it's got a transparent fucking clip. I mean, that's some cool shit. But yeah, but no, I got to do all that, and so.
I preferred my M107.
What's that?
I preferred my M107. Works like a gun. It's a great big stick that when you pull the little trigger, whatever it is downrange just fucking dies. And it.
Well, my current one is an M7. No, wait, what? C7A2 standard rifle. But then again, I don't use it. But. Not on the street, public streets anyway.
What's that top left ribbon?
No, my unit always found it necessary for me to be a 203 gunner, and what do you call it? Which, in case anybody doesn't know, that just means it made your 16 that much worse to carry around. And
it's not that much more heavy.
It's not a matter of being heavy; it's like bulky and shit, you know.
Yeah, and cumbersome, especially if you want to fire a round, 40mm round, and you don't notice where your strap is.
Yeah.
One of my buddies made a mistake on the firing range when we were training for them. His whole face and upper body got very orange all of a sudden. Across the barrel.
we had a guy.
His pants.
we had a guy. No bullshit. He fired one of those training rounds and hit the tower. And I don't know exactly how he did it. I didn't see what he was doing, but all of a sudden we hear commence fire, and, and we hear everybody just hears behind you this big whack. Like that. And it was one of those dust rounds that hit the tower. And
maybe you should explain what the M203 is.
If anybody doesn't know, M203 is nothing more than a grenade launcher. It shoots a big ass fat round out of the bottom side of your M16, out of this big barrel out of the bottom. And but the training rounds, and also if you move upwards, you can actually have it belt fed into a Mark 19. And actually have a fully automatic grenade launcher. That's just I got to see one of those fire one time. That's just impressive.
But I got a hard on when I saw that thing.
Those things are loud and obnoxious. Never mind attach it to a modern rifle.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing, man.
Scare people, just the sound of it.
Yeah, but that Mark 19, man, that just flattens entire areas, man. And that from a belt-fed machine gun, it's like thump, 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 and it just knocks the whole damn area down. But
by the way, we had them. My team and I had them available to us, and we never used them. Why? Because our job was in, out, and try not to get killed. Okay, there's a reason that I preferred the M107 over an M4, and it was exactly that. Yeah, the M107 sounded like a chainsaw started firing up. But you know what? Almost nobody would notice. Okay.
Sorry.
Usually by the time anybody noticed that sound, whatever it was I was after was already gone, and so was I.
I like doing miles gear training, and when you did miles gear training, if you had to be the 60 gunner, because they basically never let you get killed, but when you let that thing loose with that blank adapter on the front and all this, just like the whole simulated war just like stopped. Because, because everybody's like, what the hell was that?
So I have a question. I'd like to ask each one of us to go through and give the answer for. What was the absolute coolest thing you got to see while in the military or currently in the military?
See or experience?
Either one. Experience the coolest thing that you got to just be a part of. I'll start so you guys can.
I got a lot of those stories, man.
So I had the opportunity of witnessing a high-powered magnetic anti-tank phosphorus weapon. And what it did is I was very interested in EOD, so I had a few EOD friends, and I had one SEAL doctor who I would go out with them and watch the shit they were doing because it was just cool. And there was only a few of us on the base anyway. It was kind of a secluded base, so we all knew each other real well. And they had this display of power one time that they were showing, and they had these diplomats there, and they just aimed this little rocket launcher just like the 209. That's what it's called, right? The 209.
Which one?
The one that you have on that grenade launcher that it goes on the bottom of the
203.
203. I'm sorry. It was similar to that, but on the end of a weapon, and they would just aim it in the air and shoot it, and it had this high-powered magnet that it would go up and it just turn around and drop right down on top of the tank. And as soon as it hit the top of the tank, it had this little igniter on it, and it would hit, and all you'd see is white everything. And then they had these little cameras on the inside, and you would see the metal starting to get hot and starting to melt down from the top. And then as soon as that metal degraded enough for the phosphorus to come in, the entire inside of the tank was just
are you
liquid
talking
metal.
about Metal Rain? Is that the one?
No, this was actually from it would be deployed by a single person from the bottom of like an M16.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was a very high-tech weapon they had. It was not much bigger than a grenade. It was probably slightly bigger than a grenade, probably about from looking at that picture, it's probably about a third larger than that, but it had little fins on the back of it that opened up when it came out, and it would just lock down on top of it and just bam right there. As soon as it hit, just lit up the entire tank. Absolute coolest thing I got to see in person was that.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
part-time vegan, I just want to let you know, yeah, but you're enjoying that we exist, so shut up.
Oh, is he over in Jared's? Yeah. I don't see it in mine. Okay. So how about you, Slide? What was your next, or Sean? What was your the coolest thing you got to see while you were in there?
Oh, my stint was basically in a room. My coolest shit is kind of classified.
What the fucking do?
So
somewhere between
I'll just say pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I was gonna say
it didn't happen.
Well, I was gonna say it's kind of tough for mine as well. Being on the aircraft carrier is one of those. There's three I could pick from that are really more personal to me, like really stand out. One is being in the middle of the flight deck during flight ops, which I had to do as part of my qualification for the EAWS, the air warfare specialty. That was pretty fucking cool. Another one was the weapons training that I did. So I was part of the auxiliary security force, which allowed me to fire off the M4. Otherwise, the only live fire I would have been able to do is the Beretta, the M9 in boot camp, which I hated that fucking weapon system. But I shot better with it than all the fucking Texans that were in my division.
Why you gotta bring the statement?
Just be happy it wasn't a Neuhausen.
Because he just read about the Texas sharpshooter fallacy.
Yeah. You know that ego that comes with coming from Texas.
I'll tell you, I was severely disappointed when we got to weapons qualification. It was either at the end of boot camp or during I think it was during boot camp. And we sat down, and I'm like, "Wait, what the
fuck?
These are fucking laser weapons. Like, give me a fucking. I want to feel that. Boom, boom, boom. I don't want to feel no click.
Oh,
click,
you did the simulated training.
Oh yeah, I was in the military quite a while ago, so it was.
They've upgraded
a lot of difference.
They've upgraded simulated M14s lately. Now they're actually using air compressor recoil.
I remember when they first came out with those. They tried to simulate the recoil on it. They called it an M16 because it was on the end of a stick.
Well, and here's the thing. So I went through basic training in the end of 2002. And the weapons training for the Navy at the time was 3 days long. A day of class, well, the first day was actually half a day in the classroom. The next day was the simulated range where we did the Beretta and the shotgun, and then day 3 was live fire with just the Beretta.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I lost all respect. I lost all respect for the Navy. My brother was in the Navy, and he was a Navy nuke, and he was on the George Washington. It's actually kind of funny. I had just graduated basic, and then my brother went into basic for the Navy down in Florida, and so I went down to go see him and go to his graduation. And I come down there. I'm a starch private. I had no rank. You know, I had nothing. And here I am walking around in my green uniform, and I'm looking all sharp and pretty with my out of rank sunglasses and all this stuff. Thought I was some kind of Tom Cruise. And what do you call it? But I had my branch insignia, because when you still haven't gotten to your first duty station, you're required to wear your branch insignia. And so here I come walking down with a what do you call it? With a garrison cap on, which apparently only naval officers wear those. What do you call it? And then I'm walking down there with
fist cutter.
Yeah, with my branch insignia, bright gold, you know, just blinging all the way down the entire training area. And I had entire formations of Navy trainees stop and give me the order, you know, the greeting of the day. I had no bullshit. No, I had entire bathrooms would clear out when I walked in so that I could use the bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah, in the Navy.
That was the craziest shit, man.
In the Navy, chiefs and officers wear fist cutters.
They don't know anything about you. You're wearing that hat. You were an officer as far as they know or care.
Dude, formations would run by. They would stop, go to attention. The leader of the formation would turn to me and greet me, saying, "Good morning, sir. How we doing today?"
Well, keep in mind, you are in a training environment area, and here's the thing: if you miss someone that does require the rendering of a salute, you are about to get fucked over.
Yeah, now, there's a phrase that can sum this up that everybody should know: when in doubt, whip it out.
Yeah.
No, it is the hand.
Anybody ever? Oh, am I muted?
Nope. You're there, Jim.
Okay. No, I was in Japan. I was walking along, going back to work after lunch, and I came across an officer of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, which is one of the 7 uniform branches. And I just stopped dead in my tracks and asked him, "Am I supposed to salute you?" And he said yes. So, but there's only the bizarre thing about that. There's only 50 officers in NOAA.
Oh, damn.
And I just had to come across one of them. Didn't know what to do, so I asked.
Yeah, well, at least asking the question, you're still setting it up so you know going forward, which I don't think any of them would have a problem with that. They might be annoyed that you had to ask the question in the first place, but I mean, seriously, if you hadn't been around where NOAA operates in their actual stations, I wouldn't have even known myself.
If they're that obscure, they're probably used to the question.
Can you all name the 7 uniform branches of U.S.?
Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. That's about it.
So National Guard.
You have your standard 4. You have the Coasties. You have the National Guard. National Guard falls under Army and Air Force. You have Coasties, you have NOAA, and you have the Merchant Marines.
No. Not Merchant Marines.
Not anymore?
No, never have.
Never been. It's the Public Health Service. Remember the Surgeon General wearing uniform?
Every time.
See,
I thought that actually one of the uniform services.
See, I thought the Surgeon General was the was a naval doctor. technically.
Nope.
He still gets 4 stars. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Stripes.
I got somebody who's trying to blame me for being immature because I said that a sphere has a 360-degree circumference.
Uh,
Well,
I'm not lying.
clearly.
How would that be?
Is that Stiggy?
No, it might as well be Stiggy.
Wait, no.
Where did this pop up at?
Oh, what do you call it? Somebody linked me to some dumbass's video. Apparently, this dumbass has 30,000 subscribers, though. Flat Earth Talk. And what do you call it? And about the first 2 minutes of his video, he starts talking about how the Earth is tilted 66.6 degrees. I'm sure you all heard that.
Oh my God, that's the number of the devil.
Yeah, well, no, because what they do is they take the 23.4 and they subtract it from 90. But unfortunately, subtracting it from 90 is completely useless in that subject because of the fact that you're talking about a sphere. A sphere is not 90 degrees. A sphere is 360 degrees.
It's more of a convenient,
Yeah,
it's just convenient.
that crap about the number of the beast and
Hey guys, can we
liquidity
Hey,
of the
guys.
Earth's tilt. And
Gentlemen,
I
can we get
figured
back to
out
the
that
question,
the Earth's
What's up?
anti-obliquity will be 66.6 in about 400 years.
Hey, gentlemen, can we get back to who did what cool shit while they were in?
Are you feeling a little inferiority complex going on?
I'll go. I'll go.
Nope. I win the inferiority complex here. I got it on the word.
Not just because you have tits.
Wait, I didn't know that, Sean. I'll pay to have you come to Dallas and come hang out with
No.
He knows a couple
Oh,
clubs.
boy.
I know that.
So the coolest thing I saw, and I was a medic, keep in mind, was this was on the cusp of the internet and telemedicine. So we actually got to have doctors from Walter Reed help us perform surgeries in Macedonia at Skopje. So not actually in Skopje, but Camp Able Sentry outside of Skopje when we had some major injuries come in not because anything bad was actually happening. The deployment was a peacekeeping operation for the UN.
Oh, so you're talking about out of Blue Factory?
Right, we were a blue factory, but
Yeah,
it was,
yeah. Okay, I've been there a couple times.
but it was actually there was some stupid guys out there, and they went and did stupid stuff while they were out on liberty, and they came back and needed some work that we could. The doctor wasn't prepared. He needed to call in some assistance, and we had some really cool high tech stuff that by today's standards, a GoPro makes it look sad, but back then, we're talking megapixel cameras back in the 90s were cost tens of thousands of dollars. So, it was really cool stuff back then, and I got to learn about that back then.
Oh,
The prefix mega wasn't even invented until the 2000s.
Oh, okay,
Right.
Father Skeptic, I'm going to call you out on something.
What's up?
When insulting somebody, do not type out "level truth is fucking idiot."
Oh, I'm trying to. Can I tell? Okay, hold on.
I saw that
Let me
too.
fix that. I actually, I'm typing and I have the mic in front of me and a Dr. Pepper can and a lighter and a bunch of shit. And I put level truth is A, and I didn't push the space F good, so it
I'm
said
just saying,
AU.
if you're gonna call somebody a fucking idiot, don't
Excuses,
spell it out to where it makes
excuses.
you look like an idiot by saying it.
Hey, okay. So if you're watching my
Murphy's
live
Law.
stream, I'm gonna call myself an idiot real quick. I'm just gonna.
Yeah,
I can
hang on,
do this. Watch
let's get
this.
some science so we can really take it in.
I've grammar Nazi flat earthers. I'm gonna grammar Nazi you too.
Hey, yeah. Watch my screen. It's about to come up. I'm sure because it's a little delayed. But I just idiot myself, and I'm sure. Come on.
There.
I
better
want to see the
fucking
meter.
There.
Oh my
Who's
God!
next?
I
Who's
lied
next?
about it. Oh no, I lied about it. I guess. Fuck, man. I gotta figure that out.
Who's next on the cool list?
You've heard of Murphy's Law?
Yeah, I know what I did wrong. Okay. Yeah.
No,
What's that?
Murphy's Law. Like when you try to correct someone for a mistake, you will inevitably make a mistake.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm still new to this Streamlabs. I'm trying to figure it out. It's my son
That's
told
all
me.
right.
My son told me I'm stupid. He told me I'm a fucking idiot for using Hangouts and not other shit. And everything he's told me so far has fucking worked to my advantage. So I'm getting ready to stop using Hangouts.
Then start letting him teach you shit.
I've started to do that, you know, like he just turned 18, so now he's got a little bit of intelligence, like he knows how to spell his name good.
I was thinking he was like 12 or something.
No.
Okay, so his balls have tripled in size now.
Yeah. Well, he's bigger than me.
How about
Wasn't it Mark Twain who said, "Leave home now while you're a teenager, while you still know it all"?
quick hire a teenager while they still know everything?
Hey,
Yeah.
Squirrel, you need to back off the mic just a little bit. You're actually peeking the mic.
Okay.
It's a little too far, but yeah.
I either have it in my hand or I set it on the monitor. One or the other. I can't do both.
No, well, just don't hold it like in your mouth.
Right. So,
or figure out how to use a compressor.
story time with the Crockett Squirrel. First off, I want to apologize that I've been having problems with my voice over the last couple of weeks. So, gotta stick with me here while we get through the story. I don't sound.
We don't have a problem with your mic. We have a problem with your avatar.
Well, that's
I
his
like the
problem.
Crockett Squirrel.
Hey, the Crockett Squirrel is actually really cool.
I didn't know the portmanteau.
Yeah, it's better than a crocoduck.
Anyway, so I know we have one guy here that wanted to be EOD. So I got a story that you might like. Check this shit out. So we actually had some C4 on hand that we were supposed to use for training purposes. Most of my people didn't know anything about it. But I did, for that particular moment in time, have an EOD specialist in the form of this little bitty 5'7" or 5 foot tall airman, little bitty lady. She was supposed to be really big. She was supposed to be EOD. I didn't know. We didn't know anything about her because she just got there. So we're going to take this stuff out, and there was an order to take some of the trees down near the camp. So there was to be a competition to see who could use the least amount of explosive to do the same job. We had 4 trees we had to get. Now I was actually we split this into teams, okay, and I was stuck with my lieutenant. For our purposes, we'll call her Ellie. Not her real name, but we won't go there. I had my gunnery sergeant and my commo. We called her Cypher, again, not her real name. I had both of my saw gunners to do a 3rd tree. Well, she demanded to work by herself. So my saw gunners took about 3.5 kilos to actually get the tree. It took them that much to actually get the tree over. Okay. It took me and my lieutenant, neither one of us who knew anything about the topic, and a little bit of shaping, about 1.5 kilos, which is still way too much.
Yeah.
Okay. Master Guns do something about it. knew something about what he was doing, and that turned out to, and he turned out to get it into, he managed to get it into a kilo.
Look, my hair.
The nice, our little bitty airman grabbed a quarter kilo of this stuff. She set this up just so, and she took the largest of the trees completely over and got it right where she wanted it. And all of us stood there looking at her like, what the fuck was that? And she says, that is how you take out a tree. Wow. And all I could do, because this tree was, the tree that she took out was was just a bit over 2 meters across.
Damn, that's a fucking big tree.
It was a big ass tree. She took it down with damn near nothing, and we're all looking at her like, "What the fuck?" We were still trying to figure out the physics of how she managed to do this.
I wonder if det cord would have been usable for it as well.
Well, she could have used det cord. She told us det cord was something that would be useful, but it would have taken more det cord than it did compound 4, and we didn't have much in terms of det cord. We were there to train with the compound 4 because we were going to need it for the next mission, and all I could do was look at the gang and say, do not mess with this lady because she will turn you inside out with a pebble. And everybody agreed. There were no questions.
Yeah, when I was interested in EOD, it was because of things like that. I was just like, God, man, these are the people that are really working with the shit that can fuck shit up. You know, like it. Not only do you learn how to take bombs apart and all that, but by doing that, you learn how to blow things up too. You know, you learn what's dangerous, what's not, and that's what really interested me about EOD.
On Camp Bondsteel, they had EOD every day. It seemed like every day they were collecting stockpiles of different amounts of, just leftover stuff from the from that whole war. And they would bring it up to the top of this hill just to the north of Bondsteel. And at noon every day, they would blow it up. And I don't know how much shit that they used to blow that stuff up, but you'd have thought that was damn near nuclear. Because, you'd be sitting down there and, and it happened at 12 o'clock every day. And you'd be sitting there and you're just not even paying attention. You'd be hip deep in whatever it is you were doing and stuff like that. And then just like everything, this is like from like 3-4 miles away. And everything that you were working on just like shook off the damn table, just like the insides of the A-frame tents and stuff like that. They would just kind of, they would kind of cave, and then the door would kind of blow a little bit. It was just crazy.
Hey, Sly, can I finish up real quick?
Knock it out, dude. Sorry.
All right. Now, remember I told my people she could turn us inside out with a pebble. I was absolutely correct on that. She took a piece of set compound 4 about 3 weeks later, and our job at that time was to make someone not alive anymore. She snuck her ass into his house. Well, house is kind of an understatement. She snuck her ass in there. She planted a very tiny, a very small amount, perhaps 1.5 centimeters on a side, a little cube, popped it right up under his bed, put a radio detonator on it, and ran her ass back out of the house. And about 30 seconds after she got clear of the house, we heard this little weird whoop. Or real quick, just and all the lights came on. Everything was on. The only person we did not see was that guy, because she had managed through a bed to decapitate his ass.
Oh damn!
Ouch. Well, not even ouch.
Is she still single? I'd love to marry that
I couldn't tell you where she is now, but realized that she was in her mid-20s in 1997.
That I was what 19, so we're good. Like as long as she's still 5 foot, 100 and something, you know, we're 105 at least or less.
I was gonna say, you said at least, man. You need to be careful with your word usage.
Yeah, I can't. I can't just leave it at 5'1" because it could be 5'1", 210. No, she'd beat me up, especially being ex-EOD. Fuck that, I'd be fucked up. I'd be the woman in that relationship.
At the last time I saw her, which was in early 1998, she was 5 foot, red-haired, green-eyed, and weighed 95 pounds wet.
Yep, I'm down.
But I pictured you as like a married old dude. What's up with that?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm not married.
I just pictured you as a married dude. That's all.
Oh, no. I have been married before. It didn't work out. There's no hard feelings between me and my ex. My son was our marriage was not a product of her being impregnated with him, you know. That came later, so it was a marriage out of love and whatnot. It just didn't work out. She did the ultimate bitch move, which was when I was getting out of the military, I sent her, like, she cried and all that. Oh, I'm so glad you're coming home, this and that. And then she goes out with her friends one night and has a great time. And she's like, yeah, I don't know if I can do this as being married. And the next day I'm like, okay, I'm getting in the car to drive home to Texas from California. See you in like 23 hours. And she's like, yeah, I don't know if it's going to work out. I was like, oh, okay.
You got the Dear John letter. Oh my God.
Well, it was the Dear John phone call, but no, but it worked out. It worked out. Like, well, we didn't know. Well, I came home and we had our relationship still. It was just the beginning of us separating. But really, it was something that I had wanted, but I was too obligated to my commitment to be married to really go forward with leaving her. So it was kind of like, man, this is good. It hurt, but it was kind of good. It worked out in the long run that way.
Damn them atheist morals.
And see, at the time I was what I would consider a Christian, you know, like, but I guess the atheism in me has always just kind of been there. And I guess I just kind of tried to cover it up with Christianity, and it didn't work out for me in the long run like that. I think my views are too strong in the atheistic form.
All right, well, gentlemen, Sean, I got to get out of here.
Thanks for differentiating us.
All right, now I got to get going, though, guys. It's 11 o'clock here. I got to take the dog out.
Yeah, take it easy, Sly.
Yeah, good luck, Gil.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah.
Wow. Fucking Sly, man.
He has a secret crush on you.
He can eat a dick.
He can
eat all the dicks for all I care.
Wait. He's going to have to fight Riley for him, and we've all seen how he is.
Dicks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that one. Oh, I left my ass off with that one.
Well, you know what? I missed the link. I heard you guys talking about it, but I was...
Oh, well, let me find that again for you real quick. Because I'm just that nice of a guy.
Yeah, Riley plays dirty, though.
Yeah, this is Riley's theme song. I'm going to link it to the chat in your channel, Jared.
All right.
I can't. I'm not a mod there. Yeah, I am. So, yeah, I'll link it to your channel.
Hey, if you have something you want to play, if you can't play it on your screen, send it to me. I can play it through OBS, and it will actually play for everybody.
I'll link it to everybody's chat.
Okay,
cool. That is Anthony Riley's theme song. That's what he sings every time he joins an Anthony Roakley hangout. Because he's surrounded by them.
Link it in here, please. I'd appreciate that.
Okay, I'll link it in here.
There you go. Just wait before you play it. And,
too late.
Down the volume before you start it.
Too late.
I hear somebody playing it.
Yeah.
Somebody is playing it.
He even plays with the harmonics on it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, he the guy that did it, Day by Dave, he actually had to auto tune it a little bit. Well, he auto tuned all of it. But Jacksepticeye actually sang that in one of his answering comments videos. And the context of it was somebody said a comment, "I love your videos, but I wish you didn't cuss so much." And Jack immediately goes into dicks.
What kind of YouTuber is he?
Huh?
What kind of YouTuber is he?
You don't know who Jacksepticeye is? I don't know you anymore.
Nope. Oh, thanks. Great.
He's
I help you
one
find
of the
props, man.
he's one of the top YouTubers out there. And I actually watch him on a daily basis because he mellows me out from all of the flat earth bullshit I deal with on a daily basis. He keeps me mellow.
Maybe
because he's funny as fuck.
Again. Yeah.
So shout out to Jacksepticeye. I didn't mean to drop a shout out to you, but shout out for me for isn't really that much. But Mr. 19 million subscribers.
Right. When I went to check search my name for the first time, he was like the third person that popped up. It's like, no, you're not trying to say skeptic. You're actually really mean septic, Jacksepticeye. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm looking for this guy.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I've been watching Jacksepticeye back when he was down into like the low 6-digit subscribers.
Oh, wow.
I never actually subscribed to him though, because he was just always popping up in the recommended feed. I never subscribed to him because I was wanting to be like the exact zeros on the millionth subscribers. But I held off. I missed the 9 million. I missed the 10 million. And by the time he got to 11, I was like, screw it. I'll go ahead and subscribe now. I missed it by like 14 people.
Wow.
Hey, I just wanted to say, hey, I was your such and such millionth subscriber. But it didn't work out that way.
Aww.
So I was sad. Sad face.
Well, before we go any further, I do want to make an announcement to everybody out there. If we have any veterans that are out there, anybody that's active duty, that's in the chats of either live stream, just want to say thank you for your service. And for those that are currently in there, thank you as well for doing what you're doing today to ensure that the basic human rights of people across the world are being upheld. That's our job in the military. That's what we all could have had an easier job at a gas station. Trust me. Okay, we all could have gotten paid what we got paid in the military, doing something much easier.
By the way, Father Skeptic, I'm disappointed in you.
About?
You failed to do the theme song.
No. Oh, no. It's because my OBS. Okay, y'all ready to play the theme song? I can do this right now.
Yeah, it's a MIDI I did many years ago, but it's suiting for this. It was made for the same reason.
Well, go ahead and we made it for today. So y'all go ahead and keep talking, and I will pull that file up real quick and we'll play it.
Let's see if he mixes it up and plays on a double on his own stream.
Oh no, it'll play through my. It should play through. Well, I don't know. Maybe it might not. Now that I think about it,
find it and send it to Jared.
Jared has it. Jared has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let Jared play it. It'll come through it'll come through my stream as well.
Whoa, cross rules on camera.
Well, the problem is changing the input. I didn't get to play with the virtual too much.
Oh, yeah.
I've got Voice Meter Banana. If you just put it in the side chat here, I can.
Where
Such
the hell
a weird
is it?
name for an app. Voice Banana.
Voice Meter Banana.
Sounds like something Anthony Riley would do.
I mean, I'm used to I'm used to professional audio video gear, as in analog way or the cheaper stuff.
It's actually it's like a professional mixer basically.
Yeah.
And
I do
3 hardware inputs, 3 hardware outputs, 2 virtual inputs, 2 virtual outputs.
Hey, what's the name of it?
Voice Meter Banana.
Oh yeah, I use Voice Meter, but not Banana.
Banana's better than Voice Meter.
I'll have to go get that.
That's because Banana penetrates deeper.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, I have a
made
question
for your hand, like Great Comfort says.
Sean, I have a question for you. What is the basis for the Anthony Riley purple dildo joke?
Okay, he made a video.
I'm new to this.
He made a video towards Sly Sparkane. And in this video, he was actually holding a gigantic purple dildo that had like an anal flap attachment onto it.
Oh God!
And he was using it as a microphone for the entire video. So
What's his anal flap?
Didn't it go even further back? I think it was Geostreber that found one of his videos where he showed
the video
something
he was
in his
talking
bedroom.
about.
And, sorry?
No. You're thinking of Nathan Oakley. In his first video he ever made, he actually shows his bedroom. He's got all kinds of sex toys thrown everywhere.
Wow, I forgot about that.
You know, he's got a riding crop laying across the bread. He's got.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh God!
Yeah. To each his or her own.
Yeah.
So, who's ready for the salute?
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's everybody. We're going to turn off our mics and let about what is it, 6 minutes, right, Jared? Or
It's about
Sean?
4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay, we're gonna let 4 minutes of music play for you guys. These are the theme songs from our 4 great sections of the military, that branches of the military out there. So everybody, we're gonna just let you guys hear this out, and we're all gonna shut the fuck up for a minute. Or y'all can talk, but I'm gonna shut the fuck up and listen.
Me too. Well, thank you for the moment of silence for that. That was actually a lot of work many years ago, but again, it was made specifically for today.
Hell yeah.
And
It's a
yes,
good question.
somebody spotted Popeye in there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right, Jared. I'd like to know what you're talking about.
Oh, let me pull it up. Hang on a second, because it was probably about 6 months ago. I looked for a recording of Anchors Away with the lyrics, like an actual choir, the actual naval choir doing it. The lyrics were not the ones that I sung in boot camp.
Of course not.
No, it was, they actually tamed down some of the parts of it.
How dare they?
Like
Political
drinking.
reasons or something.
Yeah.
I don't know the song. Well, I don't remember it. I probably heard it, but
Can somebody boot Bo?
We got a boot Bo.
hey, I'm Danish. Goddamn! No, not the stuff you eat. Well, you keep eating. No.
Oh, that's weird. I can hide him from broadcast, but I can't boot him.
No. Yeah. I don't. It's been so long. I don't even remember what the words were because I mean. It's been
out to sea.
I just put in the internal chat. There is the revised lyrics.
Wow.
Wow.
I'd have to remember my first one.
And no, Scott, see, it shouldn't have a copyright strike because that is all original composition by me.
For the record, the original what you have listed as verse 2 was originally verse 1.
What did you say?
What you have listed as verse 2 is in fact the set of lyrics that I remember from 1994.
Yeah, and
Oh, I do remember that song now.
Yep. That was the 90s revision, which, there's the flip-flop on the verses. So let me find the current one where it's not even that now.
Okay, Jared, I have a massive music library. What's the exact title of the song?
Anchors Away.
Just Anchors Away?
Yep.
Okay.
It may or may not be listed as the U.S. Naval Academy fight song.
I don't even remember if they made us sing that when I went in. Like if they did, I don't.
Well, I remember is at Great Miss. All right, the main times that we sang it, because we had Chiefs initiation going on around the same time we were crossing the line. So they decided to incorporate a whole bunch of the Chiefs initiation shit into our wonderful transition from being a WOG to a shellback. So there was that time, but in basic training at Great Mistakes, anytime we went from one side to the other and we went through the tunnel, we sang verse 1 going from the RTC side over towards where firefighting, the confidence chamber, and all of that, and the pool, the USS Independence. No, Indianapolis is what they named that building. Going that direction, we sang verse 1. On the way back, we sang verse 2.
Yeah, I would. Like I said, it's so long ago, I don't even remember.
And I've got a whole lot of instrumental stuff, but not sing. Not
Yeah, see, that's the actual fight song right there of just the Navy.
I like the way how you say just the Navy. That sounds good to me.
Well, I mean, like that when they do it at like the Navy football games and stuff like that. That's like that's not the. I don't know, man. Why are you messing with me, Bo?
Well, yeah. The football. Don't get me started on football. Americans don't know what football is.
Well, I would say football is a
played
little
with
bit better
round,
than soccer.
Spherical thing. I mean, come on.
Hey, maybe whoever it was got corrected and got rid of it. I mean,
let me find out Bo's a
can't find
fucking
anymore.
Let me find out Bo's a flat earther and doesn't understand the difference between spherical and elliptical.
Wait, do we want to be pedantic with that one?
Yeah, I agree. The United States Naval Academy. Maybe I've got something here.
Is the Marines still classified as a unit under the Navy? Is it still
administratively they are part of the Department of the Navy.
Operationally too,
they still
there is no Secretary of the Marine Corps.
That's what I was about to ask.
Secretary of the Navy.
Yeah, and there is not a 5-star rank for the Marines. They report to a fleet admiral in that instance.
There hasn't been a 5-star rank for quite a while.
Yeah, but when the time comes and they do reinstate that rank, it's Air Force, Army, and Navy that have the rank.
Yeah.
Why do they not have 5-star generals right now or 5-star anything right now?
5-star was established for your senior leadership during World War II.
Is it reinstated during wartime all the time? Like, did it get reinstated?
Well,
that'd probably be another.
Well, Vietnam was a conflict, I guess. It really wasn't a war.
If there was
who was the only 6-star general?
6-star?
That's a hard one. I don't know.
You know that guy. Blackjack Pershing.
Does not ring a bell.
But we were only in the Navy.
Oh yeah.
In the Navy.
Yeah, it's just the Navy.
Now, who were the
Shut up.
who were the 5-star? Who were the 5-star admirals though?
Nimitz.
That's 1.
Halsey.
2. Anyone know the 3rd?
King.
Had a class of ships named after him.
King.
Spruance.
King was a CNO during World War II. Lee.
Spruance.
What's his name? Lee. He was actually the senior military officer during World War II, advisor to the president. But he never directly countermanded any of his 5-stars.
And the one that people generally don't remember?
People don't. Yeah, that's what I said.
Repeat the question, please. I was away from my desk.
It was the 5-star admirals.
Was the Arleigh Burke?
Huh?
Nope.
No.
Burke was 4-star, not 5.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I said Lee. He was actually the president's special assistant that Roosevelt made senior to all other military officers.
Yep. He had seniority by 1 day over who? Who was the next in line? Does anyone know?
Nimitz.
Nope.
Well, Lee was actually retired and recalled back to active duty and appointed as the chief muckety muck. So it doesn't matter what day of rank it was.
Yeah. But
what's the answer?
The next in line for seniority of the 5-star ranks is
Donuts.
Nope. Marshall.
before he comes to the dogs. Exactly.
Now Marshall was like
General
Marshall
of the
was
Army.
yeah, incredible. He was like the 38th senior officer, but Roosevelt appointed him to be chief of the army, or whatever you army guys call him.
Jared.
Yeah.
I might be the only one, but do you guys smell that?
I smell it.
Wait,
I smell-
the stench of urine?
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
smell
urine.
it. It's coming from the live chat.
Smells like piss.
It's coming from the live chat.
Some type of urea extract or something?
Oh
no, I'm smoking ribs.
Oh, that's what it is.
I got some ribs in my smoker, and they've been smoking for like 4 hours already. They got 2 more hours to go.
No,
they're
I'd
gonna be good.
I'd like everybody to welcome Pistol Pete, Pissy Pete, Shay in the fucking live stream chat. He says he's seen more. He said, "Team Skeptic. I've seen more skeptical lemmings."
I've got a question for him.
Yeah, please ask him.
Does he drink straight from the tap, or does he actually put it in a cup and refrigerate first? I've always wondered that, or is he just like really good at arcing?
Well, I was about to say, does he sit in a bathtub and like put his feet up on the wall and just like try to aim for his mouth and hope he doesn't get it in his eyes?
My thought on it is he goes so quickly to the homosexual and phallic references that he's a straight from the tap type.
Oh, just not his own tap. That's okay. I got it.
Yeah, I'll share my tap with you if you share your tap with me, type guy.
No,
yeah.
I don't know. You might not. He doesn't seem like the kind. He doesn't seem like a reach around kind of guy.
Oh
Pete.
no courtesy reach around from him at all.
Pete, you would have made a great Marine.
Unless you supply a nose clip.
Okay,
some people have beer goggles, but damn, dude.
He's like everywhere he goes, people are like, "Dude, you're suffering from jaundice." He's like, "No, I just do urine therapy in my eyeballs."
Pelt, let's be fair. Pete Shay's existence is an abject disrespect to all of humanity, not just any one military branch.
Well, Pete Shay, you can be a hateful individual all you want and talk about the people at 9/11. There's a reason why people like you fucking find yourself on the outside of society for shit like that. So,
just he's woke.
Yeah, he's woke. He's woke to the dodo bird being on the fucking moon.
But guess what, bitch? I'm slept as fuck.
Now, Pete, go sit in the corner and think about what you did.
That's 300 seconds to go take your microdong and fuck yourself with it.
Isn't this hangout supposed to be like a
Are
sanctuary?
you sure he knows how?
He's like, "What? Do you mean I can do something other than drink from it?"
I did not want that image in my mind. Thank you.
Too late.
Yeah. Tennis.
So
Squash.
does that mean that Pissy Pete reigns on everybody's parade?
See, here's a problem with this. There's a problem with his statement about 9/11 being a false flag. I actually lost a friend at the Pentagon as a result of that attack.
Main Gun 07.
What?
Someone in the, I'm just following this chat, whatever. Main Gun 07 about no one gets to pick on the Marines except Marines. I was out in on the haunch. You know what the haunch is, right, Jared?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was out there with a couple of my nerd buddies and a hospital corpsman and some belligerent Marines wanting to pick a fight. And the corpsman stepped up and said, "I'm a corpsman, back off." Because I don't know if anybody else knows, but the Marines don't have their own medics. They have Navy corpsmen.
No. That's right.
No, that's right.
Yeah, and you do not fuck. If you're a Marine, you do not fuck with a Navy corpsman.
They don't generally fuck with medics. Period. Like they would come to the TMC when they were stationed in Fort Sam Houston and all that.
Yeah,
shit.
I had a corpsman buddy just tell me he served with the Marines, and they'd be doing some exercises, and these explosions would go off, and they'd knock him to the ground and bury him under a body of some Marines. Like, protect the corpsman. So,
on my base, it was being that it was a naval air weapons station. We had a Marine detachment there, Harrier detachment, and we actually lost the CO while he was requalifying his flight. We lost him in an accident. Yeah, he was I want to say he was. I don't know what it is, captain rank in the Marines, but he was
Colonel.
Colonel. Yeah,
That would be Colonel.
yeah, he was the actual XO of the base, and he was doing a qualification, and he had to eject because of an engine failure. And where we were located in like a very, very between mountains. There was a huge wind gust of air that would come through this valley, and he pulled his parachute, and the wind caught his parachute and took him horizontally, and he just fell straight down from his parachute. Yeah, it was crazy, but I can tell you that we had one of the best the best, most brotherly relationships we had was with Marines as the Navy, because we're always around Marines. You're never not around a Marine when you're in the Navy. Even when you're on the ship, guess what? You're there right there. They're fucking on the ship with you. You hate them as much as you fucking love them. You fight them as much as you sit down and have dinner with them. It's a love-hate relationship.
Except on small boys and subs.
Yeah, right. You don't, except for on that. Yeah, with us, when we were trained as an electronics tech, when I was down at the getting qualified for TACAN, they actually had to show us how to repair the radar tubes that run along the top of the top of the hallways. You know what I'm saying? When you're walking from one place to the next, they have these little rectangular cubes that run around, and what they are is they transmit radio waves through them.
Oh, the wave guides.
Yeah, and fucking Marines would use those shits. They would use it to do pull-ups. They're like, fuck, man, you're bending you're fucking everything up for me, because you can't fucking go work out in the gym. You got to work out on my fucking radar tube.
Wow. You mean like the wave guide?
Yeah, wave guide radar. I'm generalizing. We just generalized it as a radar tube because there would be propagating waves going through that.
No, Jared, you were on a carrier. You had a Mardet, right?
We did not on the Kitty. We did on the Stennis. We had a Marine squadron as part of the air wing there.
I mean, I was on the Ranger. We had a Marine detachment.
The security forces, that stopped in what, 2000? Between 98 and 2000, that stopped on the carriers. Security went to the MAs and the Auxiliary Security Force.
No, I was on the Ranger.
Hey guys.
And we used to have just be sitting there. Yeah.
Yes, Squirrel.
Okay, to the ETs in the crowd, how many radio men did you have to calibrate?
Wait, hold on. What was the question? How many radio men did we have to calibrate?
Yep. How many radio men did you have to calibrate?
We're going there, are we?
I'll tell you, my preventive maintenance was amazing. So I calibrated 100% of radio men instead of my equipment.
How many times did you have to go down and get a BT punch?
How much squelch grease did you send them after?
In which locker was the shaft seals? Were you ever sent back after to feed the shaft seals?
Okay, I got a horror story for you guys.
Did you ever have to go pick up grid squares?
No, but I was once sent to get 6 fathoms of water line.
How many of you have ever filled out an ID-10T form?
And to me and the Brits, what is an ID-10 form?
ID10T. Hey, Bo, go over. Yeah, go over into the side chat. Do it in all caps like you would in the military and type in ID10T.
Why?
You ever stand lookout? You ever stand lookout and have a report citing a B1RD?
Yeah, okay.
No. Go ahead and hit enter so everybody.
That's just as good as the preschool thing where you messed around with a calculator.
Oh, gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
And right boobs upside down.
Gentlemen, I've got a story for you if you want it.
You ever been sent back to engineering to get some relative berry grease?
Oh God.
Bean Gun's talking about left-handed screwdrivers.
I grabbed for some.
They have those on subs.
Oh,
I look for some brass magnets.
No, me and Jared were talking about it the other day with some youngster, and we were telling him about you need to go and get sound power telephone batteries.
Yep.
Okay. On submarines, they actually have those.
Somebody actually asked a serious question. Want to know how many of us were still active? I think correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the only active person still left among us was actually Sly.
And Bo.
Well, I am
right. You're still active?
Bo doesn't count.
I'm still active, yeah, in the National Guard.
Oh well, yeah, but that's
in the police division.
But that's pastries.
He doesn't count.
Yeah, pastries don't count, man.
Hey, it's not the Tivoli Guard, all right?
Yeah, like a streusel.
They have the Danish Guard is posted at every donut store and
the police won't be given access.
Yeah, that's where Dunkin' Donuts gets their merchandise from the Danish army.
Careful, Sean. I do carry handcuffs, and they're not pink, but handcuffs and a reflective dildo. So careful.
As long as it's not purple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's not purple, I don't care.
Oh boy. And we were talking about favorite stories. Moving on.
Yeah, that was 2 hours ago. We moved on.
Yeah.
No, I got a story for you about a radio. If you guys want to hear it.
Go for
it.
You can take our silence as consent.
Outstanding. Now,
no means no.
Okay. What is the for the squids amongst us? What is the absolute worst thing that can happen in the middle of the night? Worst thing. Actually, worst thing anytime.
Jerking off.
Misplaced chamber pot, and somebody runs, screams, alarm, and you step into it.
Wait, I was going to say worst or best because it depends. Because man overboard can be both good and bad.
Yeah, depends on
2 hour man overboard drill because some asshole didn't get out of the rack on a carrier.
Oh,
we didn't have too many man overboard drills on a submarine.
Okay.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. How about fleet broadcast?
How about what?
A fleet broadcast.
Fleet broadcast.
In the middle of the night.
Fleet
that would kind of suck.
What do you mean by fleet broadcast?
Hey, that's where my story starts. Fleet broadcast went down for no reason that anybody can figure out. Now, guess who had
what do you mean by fleet broadcast? What do you mean by fleet broadcast? The fleet is constantly broadcasting.
Among us will know. What I'm talking about is the carrier's communication center suddenly went dark, and nobody in the fleet could talk to each other. Nobody. And nobody can figure out why.
Don't they have redundancy?
There is redundancy. However, this does still happen from time to time. Jared, you would know about this, and I know that I know Team Skeptic would as well. Now, the way this all goes down, if fleet broadcast vanishes for any reason or some part of it does, this is considered the ultimate emergency.
Yes.
Okay. You will, the admiral, the captain, anybody in the senior positions will automatically be in Radio Central and up somebody's ass to fix it. Now,
Yes.
for any given watch in Radio Central, you have a few people that will be there, and then there's the on-call, and then there's one or two on-calls because Radio Central isn't very big. The job in Radio Central generally is to pay attention to the comms and make sure everything's doing its shit. If fleet broadcast goes down, this is a problem. So what do? They get the on-call guy, which happens to be me, at 2 a.m. Okay. And I just come off the swing watch anyway. Hello, somebody
Swing watch.
Noise.
The swing watch?
Well, that's what we call
Yeah,
it.
they're called voyeurs.
What
Oh.
hours? What hours with a swing watch?
Depending.
It would depend on your command, really.
Yeah, but
1700. It was
Not when you're
1700.
underway.
For us at the time, it was 1700 to 01.
So you were basically just falling asleep.
Yeah.
I was just falling to sleep, having picked up my dinner ever so fucking finally. I was just getting to sleep. They wake me up, say fleet broadcast is down. I'm going, oh shit! I grab my pants and my shirt, and I just threw it on. Didn't even bother to button my fucking shirt, and I hauled my ass to Radio Central. And sure enough, we're missing a large chunk of fleet broadcast. We're not getting any data from anywhere. We're not getting data in. So I'm going, okay, we have a receiver problem, or we have a wiring problem in the middle of something here. I see a bunch of people over there checking all of the cabling for the receivers. They're not getting anything. So I sit down at the first receiver. I put the headset on like I'm supposed to, plug it in, and listen. First step in any troubleshooting, see if we're getting a signal there. And the next step, of course, is to turn the damn thing up, make sure we weren't having that problem. Sitting in front of this RS-232, this receiver, and I go to turn the knob, great big knob on the front of it. Great big knob. You cannot miss this knob, ever. Okay, I grab the knob and I turn it up. And I go to turn it up and I feel the click before everybody else in the room hears it. And that panel over there lights up everything, and we're starting to get comms back on this one section. There are 12 of these units. And I go through and I turn them all on. And all of a sudden, fleet broadcast is back. Now, there's exactly one radioman. He is a third class, he's a seaman. He just gotten promoted to E3. Just. He's not even being paid for E3 yet. Okay? So I go and I get him. And I said, did you happen to turn these off? And he says, well, no, I just turned them down till they went click. And I look at the captain and the admiral and our XO and even my own officers over Radio Central. All the senior staff personnel for Radio Central turned around and went to their respective spaces. The admiral nods, the captain nods, the XO nods, and they all leave. At this point, there are no witnesses. I grab the handset off the nearest Whiskey 3 And I said, you turned them all off. I did. When they click, they're off. I didn't. I grabbed one of them. I turned it all the way down. Click. We lost that part. I turned it back up. I turned it back on. He went, oh. I said, come here, please. He looked at me. What do you need? Whoa! I hit him. I knocked him completely the fuck out with his handset. And the only thing that happened after that is his chief contacted me a couple of days later and said, would you please not do that anymore? I'd like to make a petty officer out of him someday. And I looked and said, Chief, maybe you want to remind them that they shouldn't be screwing with settings on the receivers. Please and thank you. Because the next time the Admiral's probably not going to be quite as nice as to leave it to me. And he said, yeah, you're probably right about that. I'll get on that. Thank you. Now, I am at this point in ET. I'm actually in ET3 at this point. I have no right to talk to the chief that way. Did it anyway. I was completely respectful, but I wasn't supposed to talk to him like that.
Well, something that I learned when I was a conscript back in. Oh, I got some nasty feedback there. When I was a conscript in 96, 97, all conscripts have their tour of guard duty on the barracks. And the one thing that we were taught from the very get-go is that no matter if the general himself, I mean, we in Denmark, in the Danish military, we don't have a lot of generals. We don't hand those distinctions out left and right like the Americans does.
Whoa!
Well, no, I'm talking about command structure. I wasn't trying to.
Well, like you got like what 10,000 people in Denmark. The senior officer in the Danish military is gonna be a colonel.
Yeah, I know, but we were told that even if the chief himself, General what's his name, came and even if you recognized him, if you just say good morning, sir, good morning, General, and just wave him through, you would get your ass kicked. We actually got some power there. If he and one of us did have the honor of yelling at him because he did come visiting the barracks at one point, and he just he was in his uniform. He saluted the guard station and just kept going, and he was stopped by one of my colleagues, and he got some praise for that. He was a private yelling and. I mean, a conscript private yelling at a general, "Stop, sir! I want to see your ID, sir." I wish I would have been that person. I mean, the guard has the power.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That happened on my base, and they made a very big deal about it because there was a fresh lieutenant who came on to the base, and it was maybe his third day. He had received orders. He'd already checked in. He came up. It was the same person who had brought him in the first time. So we just thought, oh, it's a small base. Everybody, they see the tags on the front of the car. They see the little sticker. They'll let me in. And the guy was just a E3. He wasn't even a petty officer, just a little E3 sitting at the gate and wouldn't let him in. And the lieutenant went off on that guy. And then the chief came over and was like, no, you're not going to go off. And it turned into a huge officer versus non-officer thing because all the officers were getting onto the lieutenant. They were like, no, you can't do that. This is even E1. If he's an E1 and he tells you to show your ID, you fucking show your ID because you could be lying about who you are. You could come on this base and cause that's on him. You come on here and fuck shit up. That's on him, not you.
Well, and the saying that goes along with that is billet precedes rank. And when I transferred from NAS Jacksonville to the Kitty Hawk in Japan, I was just an E4. I was a third class. I start checking in aboard the ship and come to find out my LPO, my E6, was one of my production supervisors in Florida before. And immediately as I started the check-in process, he's like, yeah, I already know that you know all the gear in here, so I'm not worried about that. You're running day shift as soon as you finish check-in, so you have 2 days, get it done. And after that, once I got my check-in done and started looking at, well, okay, so who do I have on my shift? There were E5s who had to report to me because I was given the position of production soup immediately upon arrival. As it is really an awakening thing.
Yeah, it has a nice smell, a taste to it, doesn't it?
A little bit, because honestly, looking at him, I was like, dudes, what the fuck? Like, one of them was a short timer about to leave. I understood that. But there were a couple more. It's like, really? You just want to play around with the gear. You don't want to actually, I don't know, get to a retirable pay grade and then slack off, maybe?
Oh man, like I remember one time in boot camp, this was a pretty cool little thing that happened. We were marching on our way to Chow, and an officer, you know how they have the officer stickers on there so you know to salute. Well, one of them drove by, and the whoever was leading our march didn't salute properly. You know, you're not really supposed to salute. You're supposed to bring your hand up to your chest while you're marching to stay in, like when you're holding the flag and stuff like that. So he was doing that, and then the E6 went over to tell him that he didn't do that when he was supposed to, but he didn't do it either. The E6 didn't do it. So the officer stopped the car, came back around, and while the E6 had everybody stopped, and he was getting on to the recruit about not saluting the car, the officer came up and was like, "Why didn't you salute?" And they started arguing. He said, well, I had to go over here and correct this guy for not saluting you. And he goes, that's not how you do it in the military. You don't correct people. You lead by example. You want him to salute, you salute first. Then you go over and you correct him and say, see how I did it? That's how you're supposed to fucking do it. You don't fucking just ignore what you're doing to go correct somebody else.
Yeah. And one thing also, if you're a platoon leader or squad leader and you see some other platoon or squad personnel fucking up, you do not correct them unless it's a live fire exercise or something. You talk to their respective platoon or squad leader.
Right.
Also, I mean, that's just a general show us respect.
Chain of
you
command.
Do not break down chain of command. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's why we all kind of get along real well, and we all approach this this debunking stuff and the non-scientific stuff. We all approach it with that type of organization because we've all been through a period in our life where organization was absolutely necessary, whether it was whether it was social organization or the organization of how the military is structured, or just organizing your life. You know, that's what we all learn that.
We had to go through the whole goddamn teamwork bullshit.
Well, yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up, too, is it's always important to remember that it doesn't matter what rank somebody is, it's still just a person.
Oh, yeah.
Like as a medic, you see the human side of things. When I was on attachment to Würzburg Hospital.
We're atheists. We don't care about the human side.
Oh, but there's some funny shit that walks in the door. People, right? There's some funny shit that walks in the door with rank at a hospital. Because officers be doing some strange stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's a very strange thing that I do not understand. Why the hell does a medic, corpsman, let's see, what's it called? Army doctor, I don't know what it's called. Why do they not have the same? Yeah, combat medic. Why the hell don't they have the same type of ranking system as a chaplain does? You automatically get the same rank as the person you're treating. I mean, that's not the way.
Well, now in the U.S. Navy, I don't know how it is in the other armed forces, but in the Navy, a dog handler, the dog is one rank higher than the handler.
Right, and chaplains. That was
one of my favorite trivia questions. what's the highest rank in the U.S. Navy? Back when they had Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy, they used to be E10. But if the MCPON ever handled a dog, that dog would be an E11.
How would that work out if you were a dog handler in Afghanistan and a village leader came up to the dog handler and say, "I want to speak to your nearest
your supervisor."
He just points at the dog. That would be so awesome. Especially what they think of a dog.
Oh, that shit happens. That shit does happen.
You want
to speak? It doesn't matter. Here's a better one for you. It doesn't matter if you're talking about an E10 or an O10. The dog is still one rank higher than you are.
There you go.
Is that because of some bad experiences or some?
No, it's because the dog is more important than you are. It's harder to train the dog and it takes longer.
Oh. I don't know that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were talking about.
Speaking of pointing, just like getting a question, like pointing to like the dog or something. What came to mind to me is a fun experiment that my buddy DJ and I ran a couple days while we were deployed on the Kitty Hawk. Didn't have much going on in the shop, so we figured, you know what? We're going to see just how many people are paying attention to what's going on around them.
There's nothing more dangerous than a bored sailor.
Yeah. So we go out. Well, no, we were sailors. I was an airman.
You've heard of that expression, sailor proof.
Oh God.
When I would hear one of my men say that, I would say, no. There's nothing. There's no such thing as sailor proof. There's only sailor resistant.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So we went out to the hangar bay, found a corner, and just having a regular conversation. We would every now and then point to something in the overhead, and we were keeping track of how many people would look to where we were pointing to try to figure out what the fuck we were talking about. And we were there for a good hour. We even had a couple chiefs like stay off on the side, look up to where we were pointing, and then listen to how we weren't talking about anything at all and just laugh and walk away.
Oh, Jared.
Yeah.
Jared, you lie. The most dangerous thing in the universe is not a port sailor. He actually makes number 4 the most dangerous thing in the military is an ensign with a map. Okay, followed by a junior
with a map. No. We
a
don't
lieutenant
call
with a
them maps in the
plan.
Navy. We do not call them maps in the Navy.
They're charts.
You'll have to forgive me. You'll have to forgive me. I spent quite a bit of time as a leg officer. They're still maps. They are maps unless you were at sea. Then it's a chart. I'm talking about in the field. Trust me, an ensign with one of those map things, very dangerous creature indeed. Because the first thing he's going to do is lead you into a fucking ambush.
Okay, so Jared,
If you call them a map, you were set back 1 week.
Well, actually, in the infantry, it's the machine gunner that is the most dangerous person on the team, especially if you're in a residential area and he's not been told what's going to happen. When in doubt, dig.
Okay. For the record, yes, the machine gunner is more dangerous to the enemy usually than you. However, we're not talking about things that are dangerous to the other side. We're talking about things that are dangerous to us. Yeah,
well, that is dangerous. The owner of the residential area that the gunner is starting to dig in might be somewhat upset and get the company in trouble. I've actually experienced that. And yes, I was the one digging.
My condolences.
So. Well, he only yelled at me. I mean, hey, I did what I was supposed to do. That was part of my training.
So,
you know what? I haven't heard anything from Alan in quite some time.
Yeah, I was actually noticing that.
So Jared and Sean, I'm about to put, and Bo, you too, since all you guys know, I haven't put a picture of myself out because I'm a very private person, but I don't give a fuck about this. I'm about to actually put my my sailor pic in from 20 years ago. It's gonna go onto my live stream. So if everybody wants to look at the live stream for 1 second, I'm gonna leave it up there for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna pull it down. So it should be popping up here in a few minutes. Yeah.
Skeptic, I didn't know you were a private.
No, I did. I
just a lowly pilot? Private?
No, I was a seaman. I wasn't a private.
Well,
I was a seaman recruit, right? Is that what Well, I didn't come in as an E1. I came in as an E2. So I was a seaman.
That is the equivalent, then, isn't it?
There I go, right there. So I look exactly the same still to this day. Maybe just not as. That's of course boot campish, all that fucking food they give you and make you fatten up a little bit. So I'm a little bit fatter in that picture than I really am in real life.
You know what would help?
Yeah.
I'm missing. Or did you put that in Discord?
Put that in Discord.
Did you put that in Discord? Because you're not sharing it.
Oh no, it's on my live stream.
It's on his live stream.
It's through OBS. I just randomly did it through OBS.
Oh, see, I'm not watching the live stream.
Yeah, so. But that's me, guys. So now that, one day I'll be putting a camera up and getting on screen for you guys, but I just don't want to do it until I have a proper camera. But in case y'all wanted to know what I look like that guy, but 20 years older.
Yeah, see if I can find one of my old ones. This might take a bit.
Yeah, I had to look through all my old Facebook stuff.
Yeah, my problem is I don't have all that many pictures. I lost most of them when I was evicted about 1.5 years after I came home from Afghanistan. Depression is shit. I lost a lot of stuff.
Yeah, did you ever see any actual combat yourself?
Well, yeah, you got shot in the knee.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. I must have
by the modern arrow, yeah.
Oh, okay, I must have missed that. The modern arrow.
Yeah, we had a on a patrol, standard patrol in Gereshk, in Afghanistan.
What the hell are you doing here, Teddy?
we had a small altercation, a discussion, if you will, with some of the local ISIS assholes. A small group of cats chewing morons. And they decided to shoot at us, and all of a sudden, my knee blew up. Somebody with an AK-74 put 3 rounds in my left knee and 1 in my shoulder.
I'm glad you're still here, man.
Well, there is a good side to this. If it wasn't for my knee, my buddy wouldn't be here. He would have taken 3 to his head. So he always invites me to some getting drunk sessions when every time I go to Copenhagen.
Well, fuck, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I do.
It sucks that you got shot, but it's awesome that that you were able to save a life in your own unique way.
Exactly, it was a price I was willing to pay. Although I do get tired of eating codeine every now and then.
Yeah. Let me ask you, being a foreign person, we're all, here Americans. So I want to ask you your perspective on what drove you to be a part of your military. Was it something you were obligated to do by law, or was it something you felt obligated to do?
Well, it's a mix. I mean, as I said earlier, in Denmark, we have today, it's somewhat chopped down now, but we have for many, many, many years, I'm not sure about the history, but probably just after the Second World War, we have had an obligatory conscript thing. You go and there's this what's it called, tumbler, a big tumbler with some it's kind of a lotto thing, really. There's a shitload of numbers in there, and the number you choose decides whether or not you are you get a free pass, or you get to go to be a conscript. And
lottery.
For me, it was, yeah, kind of lottery. And for me, I chose, I found a number right smack in the middle. And I didn't mind though. So I was in the missile defense for 8 months. 8 great months. So that is a forced thing by the government. However, I've always wanted to be able to give back and help protect people who are not able to protect themselves. In part because of my upbringing. I was raised in a Salvation Army family. In fact, all my closest family, except for my youngest big brother, are Salvation Army officers and pastors with their own churches, if you will, including my parents. They're retired now, but so I grew up helping other people. So it's a drive for me to always help out. But no, these days the Danish conscript or draft system is based on 4 months. And that's just a citizen course, really, plus a military part.
You're roboting.
Sorry, don't know how to fix that. There you go. There's a bit of military training today, but most of it is trained around civil stuff, an advanced first aid course and pioneering course, learning how to shore up unstable buildings, and also how to fight fire, different kinds of fires, those kinds of things.
Yeah.
Back then, when I was a conscript, we had the 3 months of boot camp. When that was done, we started the specialized part of our term. So it's changed a lot. But I think the Swedish military has started their conscript system back up. I think it was canceled or something. It's something about they started it again because of mainly the problems with Russia, I think it was.
Well, let me say something real quick, guys. I'm about to shut down my stream. I'm going to post the link in the description. We're going to continue on over on Jared's channel, but I want to go ahead and just get all these other 25 people that are in my live chat. I want to send them that way. So, guys, y'all keep watching over on Jared's channel right now. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button when you get there so you can be on top of all these other military discussions that we do. But I do appreciate all you guys sticking around, and let's continue on over there. You guys have a good night.
And when they get over there, they're going to see a random picture, one of the few pictures that I can actually share from my last deployment. And, more viewers coming over. Yay. For those who are curious, when we do a general quarters drill on an aircraft carrier, not everyone has something assigned to them or volunteer for something outside of their general workspace, at least on the aviation side. So for me, when I was on the Kitty Hawk, 1 year I was part of one of the first aid medical response teams. The next year I wasn't. So when you're not part of one of those additional teams, your job being aviation support is to be in your workspace to fix whatever the fuck needs to be fixed to keep the fight going. But during
And
drills where there's not actual stuff to work on, this is what we end up doing.
Yep.
Strip poker.
Yeah.
No, we were actually playing rummy.
Okay. For the record, this is generally true for the rest of the ship, or at least it was for my section. Boatswain's mates, they're fucked. But most of the rest of the rates were there to sit on their thumbs, or at least the technical rates. The SKs, they were almost always DC and FF. Damn near always.
Yep. Yeah, it's just that your job is critical to the operation of the ship. So guess what? General quarters, you need to do your job.
General quarters, condition Zulu throughout the ship.
I was just about to say, I remember that. I remember drills. I remember all that.
Oh no, you don't understand. We actually, the captain honestly thought that we had not gotten ourselves to our posts quickly enough, despite the fact that we were well within our normal within mil spec. He ran that drill 8 times over 2 days.
Yeah, what I love about the way that the military instills like that type of response, where it's not, you don't get a chance to think about it. You hear something like that, you react. And why does that? Because they do it so many times. They just drill it into you, so that way you just don't have to worry about, you don't have to hear them go general quarters and go, what the fuck does that mean? Oh, right, yeah, that means I need to be over here.
I found one.
Muscle memory.
Yeah. He did this 8 times in 2 days, and the last time he kept us up for 4 days.
Where are you at, Sean?
Go ahead. Find me.
You're in there somewhere.
You're the one in the black shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say black shirt.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, second row from the left, the first one.
Nope.
Okay, let me see. I'm actually going to try to just use the deductive.
Firemer on the left.
I'm going to say that you are. Oh wait, no, hold on. I'm trying to think. If I don't know what you look like,
I'm not going to say, because it only took me a few seconds.
It's the back row, 5th in.
I know, that's why I was gonna say the one standing next to the guy holding his hand up trying to throw up gang signs.
Nope.
No, the one after that, like the one next to that hole in the wall.
The dead center.
Yep, dead center, right there.
Oh
man,
the one
why didn't you zoom in before, man?
The one that looks like Sean Hufford.
The one that looks like
hair.
Yeah. Isn't that what I said? No, sorry.
The one that looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter if he went to the military.
Dog the Bounty Hunter?
There I be.
Oh, don't say you don't know who Dog the Bounty Hunter is. I'm about to give you some stuff to
How would
go binge watch that guy. You'll laugh your ass off. Funny. But if you know what Sean looks like, it'll be even funnier now.
That is me without the flowing locks.
Well,
who is the chick in the black shirt?
A couple civvies.
Well, yeah, obviously.
They were IT people.
Yeah, if your name tag isn't sewn on you, then you know you're not normally supposed to be there.
Right.
You had to bring civilians in to do your job for you.
No, they had their own job.
Well, for administrative
That's the Army for you.
Purposes.
Well, to be fair, Chew, on the aviation side of things, we did have tech reps. So from where I was stationed in Florida, we had the NADAP location there as well. The Naval Aviation Depot repair level type stuff. So the actual Navy-wide civilian technical representative for all the systems that were done in my shop was based out of that location. So he was constantly in our shop, fine-tuning things, actually working with us on projects, and some of the local systems that were typically not Navy supported. So we had an Air Force National Guard unit there, and they were exploring having us help maintain their aircraft communication systems. So I got to play with a few Air Force airborne radios as well because of him. So, and he was a civilian. He was retired. He was a retired lieutenant or lieutenant commander, but he was still, at the time, he wasn't active duty. He was a civilian, so he wasn't in uniform whenever he was there.
Yeah, most of my electronics knowledge came from a civilian that was ex-military that just happened to be stationed in Norfolk with me.
Same here.
Yeah, he taught me more than any of my instructors taught me.
You know, you guys have heard of the USS Thresher?
Yep.
Yes.
The first Navy nuclear submarine that sank. Yeah, that was some gross improper shipyard maintenance that was conducted that caused that thing to sink. But after that, there's a requirement in the Navy that so many shipyard shift managers and directors and managers and whatever have to go out on a submarine after a shipyard. So it's like they're kind of motivated to make sure their men did their job right.
Yeah. Well, and wasn't the Thresher the pilot program that they were trying to see if they could get away with reduced maintenance requirements?
No.
Or was that the...
that was the Air Force.
No. I remember actually reading that the maintenance hours during PIA, a planned incremental availability for the Thresher, prior to that testing, was significantly cut short. And what the brass was saying is, well, we were looking into reducing the amount of man hours required for material maintenance on the ships and still keep them functional. And it failed epically.
Never heard that. I have to look into that.
Okay, first off, I want to know whose bright idea that is. Skipping on maintenance is the fastest way ever to get a whole bunch of people very, very dead. Period. End of conversation.
Say that again.
You want to kill people? That's definitely the way to do it.
What is definitely the way to do it?
Reducing funding and maintenance requirements.
Yeah, one of the things that was the absolute most important thing we did every single day at the airfield was walk the 3 runways. You walk the 3 runways, you look for any single piece of metal. If you find a piece of metal, you have to go find out what plane that came off of.
I'd walk down every day.
Every day. Twice a day where we were at, because we had a lot of experimental jets that were flying. So we always had to check and make sure that there was no fucking anything.
Tell them what FOD stands for.
Oh, yeah, you should. Foreign objects and debris.
Yep. That is correct. I know.
So,
I should know. I was a QA rep for my shop for, 3.5 years?
Yeah. Hey,
well, the reason the Thresher sank was because of they brazed some hole fittings instead of welding them.
Alan, you've been awfully quiet. Don't you have anything to say?
I've been having a bit of a problem with my internet speed. Everything's been breaking up a bit, so I've been keeping a bit quiet to try and conserve my bandwidth.
Actually, Alan, if you've noticed the breaking up on your end, here in the Hangouts window, if you take your mouse up to the top to the...
I'm on my phone.
Okay. Then...
you could still do it on your phone.
Move to Denmark.
Yeah, where you could get some decent internet connection.
Yeah, but he doesn't have air or any money for that.
I'm on my phone via the Wi-Fi.
The UK used up all their bandwidth with the wedding.
Yeah. They used up all their allowance.
I'm pretty sure all they need is some bandwidth grease to fix that, though.
Yeah, along with a bucket of range rings.
Get me 6,000
Which was our
bandwidth.
favourite one.
Oil. Not grease, oil.
Get me 6,000 of bandwidth.
I've finally gotten around to find one of my, newer pictures from I think it was one of the first firing range periods. Oh, come on, damn Mac. Let's see. Well, you can see my thumbnail, so it would be easy for you guys to see where it is, where I am.
Yeah, we'd kick all your asses.
Yeah, you're the guy who looks like Sean.
Look, you see how they have to put on so much equipment to make themselves look big?
Yep, I'm noticing that.
Hey, all that ceramics. Come on, this is basic stuff. We actually don't have anything extra on right now. This is the basic stuff.
The tallest guy in that picture is 5'4" for sure.
Well, actually, this guy right here, this guy is the one that I got my knee shut up for.
Which one?
The bastard. The one. Oh, you can't see my mouse. Sorry. Let me just do this stuff. That guy right there.
That's a lucky son of a bitch right there.
Well, I was looking at the guy on the right, and he looked like I'm going to be a dig of the unit.
Is that you with the guy that's missing the tooth? Is that you?
Yeah. Football game.
Is that really just right. Fucking with you? Is that really you?
I mean, no. Do you know what field football is?
Well, if you wear a helmet, you would never get hurt.
Wait, field football, would that be rugby?
Well, kind of. When you're on a military exercise, I'll just stop the sharing here.
So, no, hold on, don't stop yet. I want to know who the guy is that looked like he's about to eat a dick, or he just got done taking one.
Oh, the third in.
Yeah, go up.
Yeah, you have to narrow that down. Go up. Look like that.
Oh, he looks like the guy that had the penis involved.
The guy that you saved from the bullet. He looks like he just ate a dick, or he just took one. One of the two.
Yeah, or he's pushing one fat fart out.
No, the guy next to him.
The guy to the right.
Okay. That shorter, kind of fat guy.
Yeah, the weird fucking smile he's got. He's just creepy as fuck.
Yeah, he kind of smiles like that. I don't know why.
He looks like Troll Face.
Hey, Bo.
Yes. Yeah.
Bo, I have a question. Can you do you think in the future you might be able to get your buddy to come on here with you?
I could try.
Yeah, let's try to set that up, man. That'd be an awesome conversation to have.
It's kind of whoa,
I like that picture.
Hello.
Okay, open that one. Go back. Open that one.
It's not mine.
Well, we know you're a butt man now.
Okay. There you go.
Now,
she looks like she has a lot lot
Demonetized.
We don't need to zoom in on that.
That one, guys, that one there.
That's Paula Y from MedArt.
If she turned around, then monetization would be.
Well, it's not monetization you have to worry about. It's the automatic detection of porn algorithm.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
Bare butts like that actually haven't been getting flagged. It's when it looks like frontal. That's where the issue's been.
A frontal butt. I haven't seen that before.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
What was the name of that file?
Yeah, don't even look for that.
I put in my own name for it, so you don't know.
Oh,
I don't know what the original
citation needed.
You're not supposed to do that.
Bo, you should know by now that that's not real until it's peer reviewed.
Citation needed, man. Citation needed.
Has anyone seen this old firearm before?
Do you have the primary source for that picture?
Show me the firearm.
Okay, now you've got the.
That looks like the model. It looks no, it's not the it's not the 1911.
It's Austrian or German.
It's a
Sig
Glock.
Sauer. No, Sig Sauer.
Well, if
It
it's
has
in the
8
same
rounds.
photo as that, if it's in the same photo as that butt picture, then it means it's Ukrainian.
It has 8 rounds in the magazine, and it's a bitch to switch magazines. And you actually can't fire a round off unless there's a magazine inserted.
Oh no, Sig. The Glock looks a little bit different.
No one cares.
I think it's
No one cares except the Army guys.
P120, I think it was. This is the one that the Army uses, but we're changing it out. It has a shitty performance, but many people swear to it.
Oh,
But
you
it's
mean like the
almost fine.
Beretta?
Like
Yeah,
every gun
this one,
ever
and-
invented.
Yeah, the Danish Army has calls this thing the M49. It was introduced in 49. It's a crappy thing. If you are lucky, really lucky, you would get one that you don't need both hands to put it on fire. You know, take the safety off. If you're lucky, you don't have to use both fingers, both hands. It's a bloody nightmare, that thing.
Well, guys, it is 97 degrees. I am going to have to cut out, get a shower, and go to bed so I can get up at 2 o'clock in the morning because that sucks.
Yeah, getting a shower after looking at this stuff. Yeah.
Well, back at the butt
That-
picture, maybe.
I was about to say, after seeing that last pic, yeah.
Yeah, that last unsighted
I'm
picture.
like, hey, now that you say you're going, I'm probably going to go take a shower too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, take a cold one.
Oh, no. It'll be all kinds of heated up.
But
Everybody needs to take a
you'll
shower
take a
after
cold
seeing
shower,
that butt
but
picture.
steam will come off your body anyway.
before you do leave, Sean, I do want to say happy Memorial Day, man, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank everybody here, man. They've all done their jobs.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
back at you.
But yeah, for sure. Just everybody here
Sorry,
for
can
sure.
I
But
ask a
as we
question?
leave off, I want to just say personally, you know.
Can I ask a question?
Somebody wanted a question. What's
Sorry,
that?
I was going to say, can I ask a question?
Sure.
What is the significance of celebrating Memorial Day at the end of May in the US? Over here in the UK, we celebrate on the 11th of November, and we have a major closest Sunday. But I always wondered why the US had it in May.
I actually don't know that.
I'm actually
Memorial
looking
Day
it up
is
right now.
Memorial Day is to honor our fallen service.
Yeah, he just wanted to know why it's at the date that it was chosen.
Because we have Veterans Day on the 11th of November. That was the Armistice Day. That was Armistice Day.
Well, they had to pick a day.
Yeah, yes, because that's the date we have as our sort of remembrance. We call it Remembrance Day. And I just wondered why how you had a different day for.
Well,
we had to pick a day.
Yeah, so
Yes.
We have Veterans Day in November, so.
yeah, I was gonna say there's a lot of people don't understand really what Memorial Day is all about because 99% of the people out
3-day
there,
weekend.
yeah, 99% of the people out there really think that it's just a holiday that the government takes off and there's no school and there's no work and it's barbecues and everything like that. But
Yeah, fuck them.
yeah, I want everybody to know that there's a lot of us out here that know people who we've lost, and today reminds us of those people. And not all the times is it a pleasant reminder because a lot of people, like even Bo being shot, you know, I mean, if he wouldn't have been able there to save his friend would have lost, this day would have had, you know, a significant different meaning than holiday, you know. And there's a lot of mothers out there. There's a lot of brothers and sisters and friends and
wives and children and everything.
Sons, daughters, yeah.
Yeah.
For the record, I have an answer to your question, Alan. It's actually the Memorial Day started after our Civil War in the 1860s. It didn't become an official holiday until 1971, but it's actually based around the end of the Civil War here in the United States.
Okay, that makes a little bit of sense then.
We have Veterans Day in November to honor current servicemen and those that died in the two world wars of the 20th century.
Okay, because we effectively celebrate or remember all those that fell in war in both world wars and all up on the 11th of November, which is obviously the same day that you have your Veterans Day.
Yeah, we used to call it Armistice Day, then we renamed it to Veterans Day.
Now, one more piece of information on Memorial Day. It was originally known as Decoration Day. And that the custom then was to decorate the graves of the fallen.
Alan, turn off your camera and you get much better bandwidth.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that either.
It's
is that the camera off?
There you go, Alan.
That is.
Yeah.
There we go.
You'll get much better audio that way.
Yeah, it's too bad that Sly is gone. I wanted to ask him. I finally found one. Ask him if the machine gun he was messing around with the German Bundeswehr, if that was the one that I'm showing right now. This is my baby, MG62 machine Gewehr, or machine gun M62. A improvement on the M42 that was used by the German forces in the Second World War. They're not actually all that different from each other, but I mean, it was a great gun. It weighed a whole lot. I think it was 17 kilos ready to shoot. It was 17 kilos, and that was including, I think it was 200 rounds, I think it was. Can't remember. But it was a great little thing. Especially if you cheated and took the spring out of the buttstock and extended it a bit, just stretch it out, and maybe also stuck a single D-cell battery in with it, and then closed it. You can get that thing to scream rounds out.
Now,
of course, we didn't do that, but
well, I'm curious, how much of the weight is just that modular barrel that the thing was known for?
Quite a lot.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it's a lot. I mean, you could probably do a search on Wikipedia for M/62 or MG62, I guess. But I actually don't remember. Let's see if I can find a better picture.
What's the purpose of putting that D battery in there?
Well, you get a faster reload. You can get it to reload faster. If you put it in, and I don't have a picture of it here, sadly, but if you put that machine gun in a mount that you set up on the ground, where you can put in limits and elevation limits and panning limits, because of the spring loading on that mount, you could actually get it to fire off up to 1,200 rounds per minute instead of the 600 rounds per minute if you're just holding it in your hands standing. If you cheated, that is. And again, I missed that damn thing. Now they're getting phased out. We're getting the M60 Mark 6, I think it is. But that's life. But have you guys ever seen this Carl Gustav grenade launcher, I guess it's called? The one I'm showing right now?
Not that green one?
Yeah.
I've seen
84
Yeah, I've seen
millimeters. This is the old model. The newer models are made of glass fiber or fiberglass, but that thing will really heat up your legs if you're firing off a light round, illumination round. Oh, that'll burn your burn your hair off. I mean, those illumination rounds are ridiculously heavy, so it needs a lot of powder to get it off.
All right. Guess we've got everything clear. If you guys will take a look at mine now, just real fast. This was my friend, the M107, and we did lots of fun damage with this. The unit I used,
12.7, nice.
The unit I used had a removed the muzzle brake, used a longer barrel, and had a suppressor on the end of it. And that suppressor was the thickness of my forearm and just about as long. Huge freaking thing. But I will tell you now, and the damn thing kicks like a fucking mule. But that being said, I'm 3 or 4 kilometers downrange was not unknown, and in fact was very reasonably common for that particular rifle.
What was the caliber on it?
It's a 50.
A 50 cal.
12.7.
Yeah. Yep, 12.7. And really what it is an operated larger 30-06 round. and I could break somebody in half. With one of these at 3.5 to 4 kilometers.
You could kill someone without even hitting them with the bullet with that thing. Just get it
real
close.
Actually, typically this is an anti-materiel rifle. That's what it's supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to use it for. However, the definition of materiel in that situation was kind of loose. I could be shooting in his uniform, a medal on his chest. He's trying to take off his hat, and if by some chance his head exploded or he wound up with an entry wound of about 12.7 millimeters and an exit wound the size of, I don't know,
12 centimeters.
12 centimeters? Yeah. No. Try about 30.
Damn. A foot.
Let's talk about a small to medium-sized pizza.
Yeah, and for the medics out there, forget about trying to pack the bone with tampons on that kind of wound. Forget about it.
It will not. Now,
I wouldn't make any.
That's a decent range. If you're doing this at close range, as in anything less than about 600 meters, you're going to blow that round through not only your target, but the wall behind him very easily. And in fact, I managed to put one of those rounds at 400.
Comment twice on the same goddamn shit.
What?
Someone's
making a noise. Anyway, at 450 meters, I managed to put one of those rounds, one round, through 2 people and a big ass rabbit. And then I went through 3 walls.
There's many different kinds of walls. I'm used to brick walls, clay brick walls. Are you talking about cement or?
We're talking about cinder block and wood.
Huh. Lovely.
This is a weapon you do not screw around with. Mind you, there is a civilian version of this weapon that is sold very readily by old man Barrett. I can get one here, but if I'm in California, I'm not allowed to own one without a massive fucking license.
Well, that's one of the crazy things about the U.S. Yeah, that's the crazy thing about the U.S. I mean, being able to, as a civilian, to buy a devil stick like that, unless it's for sports, is insane, in my opinion. I mean, doing it for sports, I totally get that, but being able to buy that shit for fun, so to speak. Why?
Well,
I mean, it's a hard thing to hide.
I'm a pro.
Information for you. Number one, I wouldn't take that out against anything smaller than a grizzly bear, and even then, I can still do the job with 40-06. This weapon is not necessary. Number two, I don't hunt 4-footed prey ever.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't hunt prey that has 1 feet on them.
Yeah,
Someone's got a screaming child in the background.
I'm a big pro gun advocate. I think that there should be maybe stricter checks for guns like that, but I don't think that there's any reason to take those types of firearms away from at least Americans.
No. Well, what I would like to see is that you would have to show a certificate that shows that you have undergone the necessary training and so on, and have been an active member of a club that can sign a document saying, yes, this guy is responsible for. I mean, this guy is a good guy. He's responsible for his actions, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what we should do in the U.S. Everybody who can legally own a gun should wear a tag that says good guy. If you own a gun and you're not a good guy, then you should be required to wear a tag that says bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
what does a typical criminal look like?
They depends on the type of crime.
They look like everybody else, man. And honestly, that's the hardest thing about trying to identify a criminal is that there's criminals of all sorts. Like there's people that look just like us and sound just like us, and they go their entire life without committing a crime, and one day something pushes them over the edge, and guess what? They're a criminal now forever.
And they're allowed to have guns.
Yeah.
But the thing is, once you have your permit, is that for life?
No.
Or do you have to renew it every year or second year?
I think each state is different.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you can't get a gun in one state, drive to another state, and buy a gun.
Yeah, we have waiting period restrictions. Yeah, wait period that we have to go through. So if you go from there are ways to expedite the process.
The Vegas shooter.
Yeah, well, there's nothing you can do about crazies being crazy. I truly believe that the best defense against somebody who's crazy is.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, I agree there needs to be reform on who has the right to go buy it. I do agree on that, but taking it away from everybody is not the right solution because not everybody's a bad person. No. In fact, 99% of us are good.
Yeah, Team Septic. Sorry, yeah. I was in one of our friendship companies in Altengrabau, Germany in 2006, and we went on the firing range with them. They also use the MG62 machine gun. That's the one that's mounted here. But this thing is mounted on that specific mount I was talking about, where you could cheat and get it up to about 1,200 rounds per minute. The German version of this mount has a special feature. Do you see a submarine type of equipment on it?
Periscope. It's called a periscope.
Periscope. That's right. You can hide in your foxhole and use your periscope to see what you're shooting at without even being in the line of fire. That is fucking awesome.
That's fucking an amazing invention right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how old it is, but
the idea actually dates back to World War I during the trench warfare bogged down.
Yeah, for sighting, but for a sight, for a weapon sight.
Yeah, it was
a gun mount. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the idea started back then.
So are they actually looking down sight? I mean, is it lined up with the sights all leveled out and everything?
Well, you can't really see it here, but it's on the side of the barrel axis. But it is calibrated somehow. I don't know how exactly, but it is calibrated to the specific weapon that is put on there. So, but I don't know exactly. This is the German version. The Danish version doesn't have that periscope sight. But we do have a rail mount. I think it's a Picatinny rail on the what do you call that? The breech, the top where you can pull up the lid and put in a new belt. We have a Picatinny rail on that thing, and you can put on a standard scope, a night scope, or a thermal scope. I think also. I think we have that now for the machine gun too.
Is that M62?
Guys, for the record, both the U.S. and I believe Great Britain also have versions of this.
Oh, do they?
Okay. You were asking something, Team?
Yeah, I was asking if that was the MG62.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It's just the German. I mean, the German version of the MG62 is exactly the same as the Danish version, except for the breech or whatever it's called in English, where the Danish one has a sight mount on it. But it is the same thing.
Making it easier to kill terrorists every day. Total support of that piece of machinery right there.
Well, the thing is, in the Second World War, against everyone, the German soldiers who were carrying this machine of death had respect in urban warfare. One soldier can secure a street completely alone. And he doesn't have to aim at people, at soldiers. He aims at the pavement or the asphalt or whatever it is in front of them. It's an awesome piece of equipment for that kind of thing. But it's kind of hard to breach a 3-story building with that thing. I've tried it. Damn. But you do that when you start getting Rambo arms from carrying it around constantly.
You said Rambo arms?
Yeah. Think of the Rambo movies where he holds the M60 in one arm and he lifts
the street sweeper.
Yeah.
That thing. It's possible. Oh, there you can see it. There you can see how much offset it is.
You got to be built like Popeye to be able to do something like that, though.
Yeah, well, you can't do it, but not for long.
Oh, no. Rambo proved you wrong already. I have peer-reviewed evidence. I can pull up the movie. He does it for like 10, 15 seconds.
Okay, guys. Just so you know, firing one of those by hand under full auto, your first few rounds might come somewhere near the target. If you aim for the asphalt, the first few rounds will walk their way up the target, and everything else after that is a hazard for low-flying aircraft. You need to break those.
Yeah. And this machine gun has only 2 settings: fuck and not fuck. That's the only 2 settings it has, basically.
Fuck and not fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, fire, fuck, yeah. So
yeah, but what Squirrel was talking about and alluding to, that's where when I got to fire the M4 aboard the Kitty Hawk is you got really good at leaning in and doing the burst mode to stand yourself back.
You got to stand yourself back up, exactly.
You need to do that as well with this guy too. Not as much probably, but damn.
Yeah. I had
if you did that, if you extended that, stretch out that spring in the buttstock and put in the D-cell battery, you had to lean in before you started shooting. Otherwise, you would be knocked on your ass. But yeah.
Yeah, I had the luxury of actually being able to shoot full auto MP5, and even those things, as easily as they are to control, it takes a skill to keep that thing even remotely close to a fucking single individual. If you're going full auto, after about the 4th bullet, it's started to drift so far one way or the other. And if you're not strong enough to keep that force steady and then you can overcompensate and pull back the other way. So it's just it's a very hard gun to control. Any gun that's full auto is extremely hard to control on full automatic.
Yeah. Well, the German Bundeswehr that I just showed a picture from, their officers, for some reason, have, in addition to their, I think it's a 9mm sidearm of some kind, their main weapon is an Uzi, the old ones.
Wow.
Now, these officers can't hit a thing. They were taught to shoot from their hip when they stand up. They literally shoot from the hip when they stand up. They don't use the sights.
That's my favorite thing in movies, when the
yeah.
special agents shoot from the hip perfect, and you're like, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, that was the funniest 2 hours on the firing range of that whole, I think it was a 2 weeks trip or something. We were on the firing range, and we were allowed to try it. The officers had, it was this firing session with the officers needing to shoot their Uzis. That was a certification refresher, or whatever you want to call it.
Requalification.
Requalification.
Yeah, requalification. It didn't go too well for them. But the really funny part was when we were allowed to have a go at them. We knocked those targets down like it was nothing. It didn't matter if it was targets from at 100 yards or 15 yards. We just popped them. I mean, some of the soldiers, the German reserve officers there, they couldn't even hit a target at 15 yards.
Wow.
While standing up, that is. While standing up.
While sitting down with the Uzi on the table, they were good. You could just pick it up.
I have a suspicion that it was probably because they weren't actually aiming the thing. I mean, they even had a problem. I mean, these reserve officers didn't know that when you don't intend to fire your weapon, your index finger can only be in one position, pointing at the same in the same direction as your barrel. They had a tendency to keep the finger on the trigger all the time. It wasn't good.
Gentlemen, very briefly, if you want to see what that suppressor looked like, yeah, there it is. See this rifle? Add about another meter and a half to the barrel, and then put that suppressor on the end. That's what I carry.
How much accuracy and possible range did that take out of it? If any,
taking into account wind and everything else, I could put a round within about 10 millimeters at a range of 3.5 kilometers.
So did you have to did you have to factor in the Coriolis effects in certain conditions? When firing long range?
No, not really. It was actually the calculation for that was included in windage. It was actually.
Do you remember the muzzle velocity or the with and without the silencer?
Muzzle velocity for this weapon. With the silencer, with the suppressor, was about 2,600 feet per second.
Ah, those Yankee feet. 1,200, you said?
2,600.
Oh, 26. Okay, let's see. If I can get my damn thing good to go here. Come on. Well, it's supersonic in any case. 26. No. Okay.
That's about 800 meters per second.
Yeah.
Approximately. 800 meters per second with an accuracy of generally, if you were good with it, about 10 millimeters at 3.5 kilometers. At 4 kilometers, it tended to drop off quite a bit. Usually we're looking at about a third of a meter at that point over the last half kilometer. And if you knew exactly what you were doing, you could still hit a man-sized target center mass at 5 kilometers. If you didn't know, if you were not, and that's if it's braced like you see here. If you're trying to fire from the hip, you're gonna be lucky to hit anything at 600 meters.
And you would probably be lying down after that too.
Yeah, you will be prone, or you will have yourself braced in a sitting position using this rifle at all. On the upside, I could do that for a tree. Now, the muzzle. Let's see. What was I thinking? I was thinking my brain is going dead. So you were going to get about a kilometer a second out of this weapon without with just the regular muzzle brake. And again, you're talking about an almost 2.5 meter barrel. A huge fucking weapon, and the damn thing weighed about 50 kilos by itself.
Well, gentlemen, I have to get out of here, man. I need to go get some food and get something to eat, and I really enjoyed this conversation, especially Bo hearing about other military institutions, and especially all the guys that were on here. For real, man. You guys, happy Memorial Day for whatever that means, man. But thank you guys for this conversation.
And thanks for your part, keeping us all safe.
Oh yeah, and Jared, look forward to this in the future, man. This is going to be something really nice.
Oh yeah.
All right,
I'm
gentlemen.
looking forward to it too. Take care, Skeptic.
Yes, sir. You have a good day.
Bye, Jared. This is the Joker again. This is the way he he presents himself every single time. If you can actually see it, that is. What the hell? Oh shit! Damn. Probably not. Let's see if we can do that better. Hopefully. There we go. There he is.
Oh damn.
Yeah. That's just. And again, you can probably recognize the guy on the right there. I mean, oh yeah, that's right. Oh, I actually did have pictures of the fit affutation, as we call it, the mounts for our machine gun here. Let's see if we can do this in quick succession here. I did do it in burst mode. There you go. You can't really see it, but it does move a little bit on the springs there.
Yeah, it has a little bit of the recoil on there.
Well, honestly, you're going to have that anyway, because you're going to be fucked without it.
Yeah, you have to reload that fucker every single time. That would suck. Yeah. As I recall, I shouldn't go any further on that round of pictures because that would be kind of doxy. So just there you go. Yeah. I can't stress enough how much I miss that damn thing. It's heavy as fuck, but oh man, especially in the winter, you can you can steam some snow.
Well, yeah, fire off a few rounds and then use the barrel as a heater.
Yeah, and it doesn't take many rounds either. Let's see.
Well, no.
Don't feel bad. It's kind of one of them things. It does happen. not only that, it happens pretty often. You put take a couple thousand grains of gunpowder, a nice big chunk of lead and copper, and pull the trigger. You will generate loads of heat, and you don't want to do that from down on the ground in the snow if you can avoid it. They will know where you were.
Yeah. The M203 grenade launcher, we used a different model. I think that the US uses a Colt, as I remember. This is a different one. I can't remember the brand, but it's bigger. I mean, the barrel of the grenade launcher is further away from the barrel of the rifle. But I mean, it basically works exactly the same. But
all right, guys, I got shit to do. I'm going to excuse myself now. Next, Jared, next time you want to do one of these things, let me know.
Yeah, like I said, the next one is currently scheduled for Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Right. I'll keep that in mind. Send me a link when you get around to it.
All right. Later, Squirrel.
See ya.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
So, hey, you miss your gun. I miss actually working on what brought me into specifically the Navy that I was actually lucky enough to get my hands on. Second, let the image load up. Come on, there we go. There we go. All right, let's.
F-14.
And present. Yes.
Well,
everyone had a love-hate relationship with this this particular aircraft. Beautiful to watch, wonderful capability for what it was designed for and how they were able to adapt it. But the majority of the maintainers really didn't like it because it did get to be a maintenance hog, and it had a wonderful saying: if she's not leaking, she's either dry or there's a problem.
Well, with all that mechanics on the swept wing design, that must have been a bitch to maintain.
Oh, yeah. And that's actually the main reason why they ended up retiring it when they did, was because of them. It ended up costing more in maintenance hours per flight hour versus the other aircraft in the inventory. But what's funny is the FA-18 was meant to be able to pick up the workload of both the F-14 and also the A-6 and other medium attack aircraft that were used. But the original Hornet, yeah, one's the that thing.
The communications.
No. This is the attack variant. This is the electronics warfare variant. So the regular attack variant did not have this extended bit.
Two-seater?
And so this actually, the original is a two-seater with them sitting side by side.
That's the Prowler.
Side by side?
Yeah, so the pilot is here on the port side, on the left side of the craft. The navigator bombardier is on the other side, directly to his right. So they were sitting next to each other, not tandem like on the F-14 and the F-4. But then when you go to this, the Prowler, the electronic warfare variant, you still have the two seats up there, but you also have two electronic warfare officers back here. So it was actually a crew of 4 in this one.
How long flight duration would that be able to handle?
Oh, God.
It sounds heavy.
It was. But the typical alignment for the Growler. So you know what? Let's actually. Well, for the Prowler. Yeah. So every time they went up, they would have at least the 2 external tanks plus the internal fuel load. Actually, yeah, that one's kind of small. Yeah, here you can see. So external tank there. That's one of the ECM pods. They'd have another one center line, and then they would mimic this setup on the other wing as well. You can kind of see the other ECM pod there, which was part of the ALQ 99 suite. But yeah, the difference between the two is actually here you can get a better look. So it was the almost like a passenger car seating in this craft.
Sidecar.
Yeah. But that airframe got old, so they ended up replacing it with an ECM version of the Super Hornet.
Oh, yeah.
Which they had to go really nifty with it. And instead of having a missile rail here, what was on the vertical stabilizer of the Prowler is now split between 2 wingtip mount antenna pods. But because of the extra weapons pylons, the weapons positions of the Growler, actually no, that one's fucking tiny. All right, here we go. So the Hornet, the Super Hornet in the E or F configuration has a weapons point hard point here, 1, 2, 3, another one along this edge of the intake, center line, and then mirrored on the other side. Fucker can carry a lot of shit. So even in the G variant, they can have their 3 ECM pods, 2 fuel pods, and still carry 4 missiles for self-defense or taking out a radar station.
Yeah, so it's basically
thanks, Jared.
C-130 Spooky then. A mini version.
Yeah, it's a mini version of Spooky.
Yeah. Cool.
So was that
Jared?
Alan.
my worst nightmare when sitting under that big radar dome on my avatar. People with anti-radiation missiles.
Yep.
Can spoil your day.
Oh, just slightly. Especially the
missiles will hit the radar, not you.
Well, yeah, but
but I was underneath the aerial.
How much bang stuff was in that thing, you know?
So you got 100 tons dropping on your head. Hopefully the guys who made the building reinforced it.
The aerial you see, the dish is 60 feet across and weighs 60 tons. It turned at 4 RPM, and you could also switch it to sector scan, which would swing it through a 120-degree arc at the same angular speed as you got for 4 RPM. They decided very quickly that this would only ever be used in a war situation, as 2 big cracks opened up down the side of the building underneath the aerial support.
Bummer.
So anything hitting that, it was coming through the roof.
Yeah, Alan, is that a secondary a grid-based parabola antenna below the receiver head?
Yes, it's a what was at the time Cosa SSR 750, which is a secondary radar
with an IFF built in or something.
Yeah, it does it would do IFF, plus it would also interrogate the normal airliner type transponders as well.
So it would.
it would do both duties, IFF and air traffic.
So is that a 40 and 60 gigahertz system? I don't know how.
I can't remember what the second. I didn't work on the secondary system. I worked on the radar that used the main dish. That had 12 5-megawatt transmitters for a total war output of 60 megawatts, centered at 3 gigahertz.
3 gigahertz?
Whoa, that can activate chemtrails.
That's low. Wow. But is that a burst mode or a continuous?
That was peak.
Output?
60 megawatts peak.
Yeah, but is it a burst mode or is it a continuous stream also?
Sorry, it's a pulse. Yes, so it fires.
It is a pulse.
Yeah, it was a 10 microsecond pulse at 250 pulses per second.
So it's not you can't power it by a regular hardware store generator then?
No, not particularly. Each of the 12.
A power generator.
Each of the 12 transmitters had a 91 kVA motor generator attached to the input.
So it's a 500 kVA total? At minimum.
Hang on.
That's something you do not want to power by diesel.
Yeah, it with all 12 going, that's over 1,000 kVA.
Wow.
The
power is dependent on the range needed, right? I mean, you
need the power to get the range.
Yeah, but so at peak output, that would be what 200 kilometers, depending on the height of it.
We could
60 mega.
The system was actually able to height find as well, so it used 12 1-degree beams. So 1 degree wide, 1 degree high, stacked in a fan, and at maximum output, to get the maximum possible energy into the sky, we could put that 60 megawatts into an area that was 1 degree wide and 6 degrees high.
Oh, so you could beam shape that thing?
Sorry?
You could use beam shaping?
Yes, it had.
By delay, or do you servos on the antennas, or?
It had. We just multiplexed the waveguides, so there were 12 horns. There were 12 horns firing into the reflector, and we just multiplexed it up or down the. We multiplexed the power up or down the.
So a helical scan?
Sorry?
Was it a helical scan reader?
No. It was vertically polarized, I believe, and then mostly we just had the radar. The dish just turned at 4 RPM.
It almost sounds like you could use it as a Doppler radar as well. I mean, if you could get it moving fast enough in an oscillator, sweep left, sweep right. I don't know how heavy the head is, but
the head weighed 60. The head weighed 60 ton.
Yeah. Probably not viable then.
Yeah, well, I say that it had a sector scan facility, so you could swing it backwards and forwards. But it started. There were 2 big cracks down the side of the building.
So So
where the
who designed that building? Military or civil engineering?
Civil engineering.
That'd be civil,
yeah.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, you know. But
was the building designed for that particular weight?
The building
payload,
was
so to speak?
the building was designed for the radar. I was one of the last people to actually work on the equipment before it was removed from service. That particular one, which was the one I worked on at Neatishead in Norfolk, was the first production prototype, and it entered service in 1964, which made it as old as I was. Seeing as how that was the year I was also born.
Even funnier. So one of the first aircraft platforms I directly supported was the P-3 Orion. The last technical update to a couple of the systems that I worked on from that aircraft were last updated in 1972. I was born in 1983.
Oh, so you're a young kid.
Whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess at least it was only as old as me.
Yeah, but that was something
that
I always got a kick out of, is that I was working on an aircraft system whose last update was older than me by 11 years. Like the ARC 101 system was still using vacuum tubes.
Yeah. Well, that whole radar was vacuum tubes.
The first submarine I served on was commissioned 3 years before I was born.
Wow, and that's actually a long life for a sub.
Yeah, but properly built, designed, and properly maintained.
It was the Thresher class. What do you think?
Yeah, the design wasn't terrible for the Thresher.
Yeah. One of the racks I slept on. If you look up my rack right across the passageway, there was a placard that said "Bilge Drain Valve Indicator, USS Thresher." So it was salvaged from it was taken from the Thresher before and installed on my boat, the Plunger. So
it's a sobering moment when you know the history.
Slightly. Plus, just going on a submarine named Plunger.
Oh, come on. You know you got a laugh out of that at some point.
Well, the cooks did. They used to have they used to wear T-shirts with a big fat French chef with a chef's hat holding a plunger and kissing his fingers. Because, you know, it's the plunger. The cook holding a plunger.
Yeah. Oh, please tell me they used the caricature of the Swedish chef from the Muppets.
Oh, what do you mean?
Why? I need Halsoy to pick on now.
Yeah, but for some reason I doubt he's awake.
Yeah.
He didn't answer me
when whippersnapper.
Yeah. Well, he didn't answer me when I messaged him earlier if he wanted to be a part of this. So.
Is he a military guy too?
Yeah. Yeah, he was part of the Norwegian forces.
They suck.
Who was that?
No, wait, that's the Swedish forces. Sorry. The Swedish national, the Swedish version of the National Guard. They suck, to be honest. They're not that well trained. They're actually they're almost to some degree worse than the British regional army, if that tells you anything.
The British Home Guard.
Yeah. But the it's called the regional army still, right?
Territorial Army.
Territorial Army. Yeah, sorry, but yeah.
The only thing I know about
version. Sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the Swedish version of that, they're almost as bad as the Territorial Army of Britain in terms of education and professionalism. And yeah, they're yeah. I have not seen worse personally, ever. Really sad.
The only thing I know about the British Army is what I saw in Foyle's War.
Yeah, I haven't dealt with my extent of dealing with foreign forces while I was were seeing the foreign pilots being trained both at in Jacksonville for the P-3 Orion and up in Whidbey for the Prowler, then the Growler, because I was there and left there as they were doing the transition between the two platforms.
My experience with the Norwegian military was pretty good. On a boat that pulled into Norway a couple of times, and the Norwegian liaison officer hooked us up with Swedish porn TV.
Nice.
I've never seen that. Huh.
Yeah, I've walked down.
I've only seen German soft porn and Danish, very bad Danish soft porn and well, Pornhub, but yeah. Although the Danish was the porn capital in the 70s.
So I understand.
Yeah. By the way, this aircraft is not something you would see landing on a carrier, but
no.
Any guesses as to what plane that is?
Looks like a C-17.
No, didn't they land a C-130 on a carrier once?
They did back in the 70s or late 70s as part of a test, if I remember.
Yes,
remember right.
Experiment.
But that, yeah, I can't tell if it's a C-17 or a C-5.
No. Look at the side chat. It's impossible to see from the back, to be honest. I mean, I did do the something called flykending, airplane recognition. Of course, firing off Stinger missiles. We could never guess what the hell this thing was when we saw it from this side, from this end. We could never guess. We would always guess.
God sort them out.
Yeah, but no, it's a Starlifter.
Huh.
It's just
dude, that explains why I didn't recognize it. I didn't really start caring about the planes that the Air Force was using. This thing was retired in May of 2006.
Yeah, it's an C-141B. I mean, it's a beautiful aircraft, and it's spreading the chemtrails as we speak there, but yeah.
Oh, of course.
Segway.
Yeah, Segway.
It's the C-123 Segway.
And who do we have to beat for designing the Segway? Like, who came up with that idea?
Well, it's a neat little thing, but they're just way too expensive.
You know, a guy who drove one of them off a cliff. You heard about that, right?
Oh,
The inventor of the Segway. The inventor of the Segway was out testing some new model or something, and he drove off a cliff and died.
Whoops.
Yeah, not good marketing.
It's not a good vehicle, so to speak, to stop on the spot with. You really you know the only thing you have is accelerate fast and then start braking. Another fine example of the magic of gravity.
Well, obviously we couldn't brake fast enough.
Well, it's not gravity; it's just density.
Oh yeah, it's density making a Segway brake by you having to accelerate just a little bit so you can put your center of density behind you, and then yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
So if it's density and buoyancy, how come has any flat earther ever taken a 3-inch tungsten ball and a 3-inch lead ball and dropped them? And see if the tungsten ball falls twice as fast as a lead ball? Because, tungsten is twice as dense as lead.
Probably not. They start giggling every time they say ball or see the word ball. They wouldn't get any further than that, I think.
Yeah, I think they have a secret fetish that they're trying to make not so secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, tungsten is twice as dense as lead, so if their mantra is true, then surely they should be able to test it.
Well, yeah, then theoretically it should be, it should fall in line based on that alone, but it doesn't. But anyways, we have actually been going for... Wow, 3.5 hours. And with that, don't want to torture the people much more. I mean, then they could accuse us of waterboarding them through the internet. And with that, we are going to be
guns and stuff. Come on.
Well, the Non Sequitur show did kick off their debate roulette with the question: is torture a viable means? Is torture ethical?
And if done right, which is practically impossible, no, not even there.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll say anything to get out of that.
Yeah,
that situation.
Well, there's a couple examples of torture not being effective. Like after we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, the emperor was given a report during one of the meetings of the Supreme War Council that we captured a B-29 pilot a few days ago when we asked him about these bombs and how many more they have. Obviously, this pilot was captured before Hiroshima was bombed, and they tortured him, and he said, we got about 50. Which, obviously nowhere near the truth.
No.
And during Vietnam, when they would torture our American POWs, this one POW was tortured, and it's like, okay, if you go and let us record you confessing to your crimes, we'll stop the torture. And obviously he agreed, and he started describing all the armaments his A6 had, and he was just saying he carried this and this and this and this, and if you totaled it up, it was more than a B-52 could carry.
And I'm thinking of a certain Star Trek episode with Riker.
Oh no! Wait, Riker or Picard?
There are four lights.
Riker,
the four lights.
Riker and with Commander Riker and I can't remember their names. The Ferengi, where he needs to tell them how to operate some.
Right. He just starts talking nonsense, and the Ferengi. Of course, I know what that means.
Yeah.
That's when Picard and Guinan and someone else was
the kids. Yeah, it
became kids. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Picard, Guinan, Ro, and
Ro. It was just three of them.
Was it three? I thought there was a fourth.
No, I think it was three.
Dr. Crusher. Dr. Crusher and the counselor were kidnapped. Isn't that the same episode?
No, I don't think
Kidnapped by a Ferengi.
No, it's
Oh no, you were thinking of the episode where Waxana and Diana were kidnapped with
yeah.
Riker by the Ferengi.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. But hey, my memory does doesn't work anymore. Guess why? Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Jared,
sucks
I'll
to be
send
me.
you. When I was on Vortex, the Facebook group Vortex, some chucklehead came in and started talking about HARP and chemtrails.
Oh God!
And me and a bunch of other people just started throwing out the most ludicrous nonsense. I made a screen cap. I sent a screen cap. I'll send it to you. But like, you know, we go for like a couple hours and just posted nonsense, and this guy replies, "Well, I heard Joe Rogan interviewed someone who worked on HARP." It's like, you didn't even realize we were talking complete nonsense. I'll send you a picture of that screen cap I made.
Yeah.
It's so hilarious.
Yeah, and I looked it up. There was a fourth person that was reduced to about a 12-year-old. It was Keiko.
Keiko. Oh yeah, O'Brien's wife.
Yep.
Really? I don't remember her part.
Military service and Star Trek. Yeah, why not?
Which by the way,
perfect segue.
They're kind of related, but my one exception to that, my one objection to Star Trek universe is when they talk about quartermasters, who are basically, according to the Star Trek universe, they're just like skivvy stackers, supply guys. Quartermasters in the Navy do not work with supplies. Quartermasters of the Navy navigate the ships.
Yep.
Artistic license is okay, but there's a certain limit.
Well, keep in mind, so Starfleet was actually a mix of what would essentially be naval and army services, and an army quartermaster is your supply chief. So you can kind of see that way.
Nope. Tell me when they say ATs are the cooks. Well, I should say that because cook is the most important job in the Navy.
Well, yeah.
But AT,
the cook, yeah.
AT, you're assigned to polish the mirrors in everybody's stateroom.
Yeah, and if people aren't fed, nothing works.
Right. You got to keep the crew fed, and to keep them even remotely happy.
An army
the fastest way to incite a riot. Yeah.
An army marches on its stomach, and a Navy sails on its stomach.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but in the infantry, it doesn't matter if they're not getting fed. I mean, the cook isn't the most important person. The most important person is the signals officer or a signals sergeant, because if you don't have that guy, you do not have radios to call for food. You don't have combi codes for encryption, so you can send a runner for food. It all revolves around signals.
Okay, using that logic, quartermaster is an important job in the Navy, because if you can't get to where the battle is, you lose the battle. And quartermasters will get you to the battle.
Huh.
Checkmate.
I thought that would be the helm officer.
The helm just steers the course he's ordered to.
Yeah, the helmsman just does the physical steering and corrections. It's the quartermaster and navigator that tell them which way to go.
Well, technically it's the CO, but that's a minor detail.
Yeah, well, how much does the CO actually do?
Well, butt tons. Just like
command
the COs I've
command
served under.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
What's it called?
Well, no. When it comes to daily and routine operations of the ship, a properly delegated command, the CO only has to step in when absolutely necessary, which means something's going fucking wrong.
Sure, but he's usually the most experienced man, and can't tell you how many times I've seen SEALs come up to control the bridge and just start training his people.
Well,
we
not
had
necessarily
one
the
close
most
contact
experienced.
out in the ocean. Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Well, it just needs to be the most talented, right? I mean,
No,
experience
Well,
and
sure, but if you're
competency
not-
matters.
If you're not
yeah,
talented,
but you can
if
be
you're-
you can have a lot of experience, but you can also at the same time be a complete and utter dunce.
No, you get weeded out really quick in the Navy.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah.
But it's like I've been up on the bridge of a ship at midnight, and we have a close encounter, and the officer deck calls for help down to the CO, and the CO comes running up wearing his boxer shorts and a T-shirt, and they control the situation, gets us out of it, and for the next 2 hours, he's standing there by the radar. You know, it's pitch black in there. The only thing you can see is the glow from the radar, and you see the CO standing in there in skivvies and a T-shirt, and he's giving 2 hours of the best radar training you ever heard. Like there were like 10 people standing around him, all wanting to listen to him because he was such an awesome teacher.
Yeah, on your small boys, your smaller ships, you tend to get that better competency across the board from the COs. You have to remember on the carrier, your COs and XOs are all aviators.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the air ops part of it and operating whatever their aircraft platform was, oh yeah, they are some damn intelligent motherfuckers. But when it comes to like engine room operations, thanks, but no thanks, sir.
No, well, most of my ships were submarines.
Yeah.
So we had nuclear engineers, and these guys are just freaking brilliant. I mean, like the CEO of my last boat, when I did my assistant navigator tour, he was an engineer for his department head tour. He did an XO tour, a CO tour. And one day, Squadron came down with these exams everybody had to take about the rules of the road. And me being the assistant navigator, it's like, you know, this is my job. This is my only freaking job.
Yep.
I'm going to kick everybody's ass. And I got a 48 out of 50. But the fucking CO aced it. And the XO got a 49 out of 48. I managed to beat the navigator by 1 point. But this fucker, the CO of a submarine, nuclear engineer, knew more about the engineering, nuclear engineering than anybody else. And this fucker beat me. And I got an 80 on my first class exam.
Oh, damn.
And this fucker beat me. Like the one thing I had pride in. It's like, I know more about my job than anyone. Nope. No, you don't. The goddamn CO knows more about your job than you do.
Yeah, but again, small command. That's the thing, especially on destroyers, submarines, that essentially the crew of 300 or less, you have that sort of thing where the officers are actually what they should be, where they are subject matter experts in at least 2 disciplines because of that requirement of being on a smaller crew. On an aircraft carrier, oh boy.
Yeah. Okay. You're making me feel better.
Yeah. It's that when you got to put it into perspective, like in that aspect. I
mean, it's just amazing. This man knew more about every enlisted man's job than the enlisted man knew.
Well, how long was he in compared to you guys?
He'd been 18 years. I've been in 17.
Oh, at that time? Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Damn.
But, and I can't say he was an exemplary CO because he was like, if I had to rate him, the COs I had on submarines had probably fallen third.
Well, and rating a commanding officer isn't just based solely on how much they know. It's also how they're able to manage the crew and keep morale where it should be to keep the boat running as smoothly as possible.
Sure, keep his officer gainfully employed, or not gainfully employed. It's not like they sit around all day, but keep them properly employed.
Yeah.
Teach them leadership, lead them teach them how to lead.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing on the Kitty Hawk. The running mantra was, we're at the tip of the spear, but always getting the shaft.
Yeah.
Because being forward deployed, we had a completely different operation tempo than anywhere else. And because of that, and also the management shift due to visibility of other people's fuck ups, we all suffered for it.
Yeah, it's one of the things I hated about the Navy was, why can't we just get rid of these shit bags? Like Nimitz, or was it Halsey himself said, 90% of your problems come from 10% of your crew. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
But there's some bizarre mentality. Well, if we just let one man quit, everybody want to quit. No. 90% of my grief is having to cover from these fuck-ups. Get rid of them. I'll in this for 50 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I'm starting to get annoyed with my cramps.
All right.
I need to take a walk.
Yeah, no worries. We've been running long enough. It is a good time to shut it down. And then anyone interested in joining on Friday, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll go from there. It'll be a little more free flow, a little more hopefully interaction from the audience, any questions they have, any stories that we want to share that didn't get shared today, just general conversation, and just see where things go from there. But it's been great. Again, if for those out in the chat, if you haven't already, like, subscribe. There will be more to come. And with that,
did you say?
What was that, Bo?
Did you say next Friday or what?
This Friday we're starting off, and if everything goes well, it will be a weekly event.
Oh, okay. Right on top of Douche Taylor's stream or two as well. Huh?
Well, so Geo is scheduled for 2 p.m. my time on Friday, which I plan on being a part of. So there's a nice 6-hour window, which I don't think Geo's going to want to run much more than 4 hours, which gives me a couple hours to eat, relax a little bit, and then start up my stream before Psy Strike at midnight local. So Friday's going to be a busy day for me.
Too, so.
Yeah, Friday's going to be a busy day.
Come on.
So next hangout, four of your Earth days.
Yes. almost exactly, actually. Yes. 4 days and 13 minutes. So looking forward to seeing you guys then. And with that, we are out.